or from WildCard, excuse me, is pretty standard, right? Nothing is really sticking out to me as abnormal, which honestly, not a bad thing. There's a reason that these strategies that we see so often are defaults, as they work very, very well. But it does give fluffy aimers a pretty good opportunity to dissect and then work their way into the site off of that. You're going to see a Flores being brought out here, whose goal is to get rid of the shield, which he does within only one drone, which means there's a lot of room for him to use those other drones to just kind of play around and catch any other utility that might present itself.
Yeah, no mute jammer there, and some shaky aim. Foresight was almost able to get it. However, the Flores drone comes through, and that's early util gone for the side of WildCard. But there's going to be that Goyo canister that might be able to delay some time. It's not all doom and gloom just with that one Flores drone. But so far, Deity is making life easier for the offense.
All right, quick prediction.
Yes, so far, but isn't about a minute and a
let's
half
keep it
remaining,
with
just over, and there hasn't been any picks yet, which on a site like this,
here's what we'll do.
is an
A prediction
win
shot.
for that
Who's
defense.
winning
But something that
after
I note here, actually,
halftime?
is that sitting
Who's
pretty
winning
far
after
back
6
is
rounds?
pretty atypical for the way
Nah, let's just
that
go
he
who's
likes
winning.
to play his defenses on this map. He
I like
likes
who's
to be
winning
one of
better.
those players
Fluffy aimers
that is
in
poking and
regulation.
prodding at the attack throughout the round. But here
FA
we
and
see
OT.
him be a little bit more timid. However, executes going down.
Or wildcard
Deity is
in
trying to run through.
overtime
He
and
finds one.
regulation.
He can get a
2
second,
minutes.
He puts the damage down, but it also costs him some HP. Emilio responds with his own. He's going to even the man can out. Rival drops. Nick is still cornered. On the floor he goes, but JJ is going to leave
What's up,
Rice
Tanner?
in a 1v3 as he gets one as he goes down. But there's a lot of work to do for Rice, and with those bullets, his position is now known. But there's some time to work with. 50 seconds on the clock. C4 is going to be shot down. Rice is trying to slowly work it. He kind of just threw a drone and says, like, here, hold this. But the camera, is that a BP? I think there's a BP camera on him, and Emilio gets a great swing. Wildcard defense so far, holding strong.
I've got
It's kind of
myself
one
a
of the-
bacon, lettuce,
that's kinda
tomato
what I mean when
sandwich
I
chat.
say that a 5 versus 5 on this site really favors the defenders. As even though we see Nick get the opening pick, there are so many positions that are so powerful that the defense can play in that it is really legitimately difficult to crack open the site if the defenders have enough bodies over you, or even if they have equal bodies to you. Is it is kind of like having a 6th person on your defense, and that is a lot of what we see there. They get into the site, and then those positions and those crossfires that are held by wildcard aces with people in positions like
I did fuck up
elbow
though. I
and
should have cut the
freezer.
sandwich into
Those are kind of what are
into
the death
2
nail
triangles.
for that
I just
attack
got one
from
big
fluffy
sandwich.
gamers. However,
That's my
now,
fault.
that site, which a lot of people consider to be the best defensive site in the game, is off the table until round 7 for wildcard aces. And so now they're not quite on the back foot, but they are going to be in a little bit of an awkward position here if Fluffy Aimer is able to dissect these sites a little bit more thoroughly.
Yeah, but it was a picture-perfect round from Wildcard. They're able to just play slow and be able to back up from their aggressive positions. But Rice has a nice drone. That might potentially catch out somebody. And I like your point. If Fluffy Aimers can win this, now it really throws into question, okay, how can Wildcard defend this one? So this is a big round to really test this defense. Because third site, if you do lose it on defense, it's not like the worst thing in the world. But if you do lose a second floor site for a team that we hype up on their defense, now it would really turn it for Fluffy.
Certainly would be the case here. We have a lot of pressure being applied outside of the main door, as well as in through Armory. See, a shield again.
Unfortunate, you literally bring the mute to
excuse
stop
me,
that from
of this
happening, and
Flores
it happens
is
anyways.
so
Oh?
proficient with getting
No, I
rid
think it's
of
jammed,
this
right? It didn't
utility
pop off.
That wildcard aces
No, they
have
got it,
set
they
up
got
for
it.
these power positions.
Yeah, that's kind of
So
annoying.
now, you can still play inside of this position, inside of Trophy, if you are Emilio playing on that Wamai, but it's a little bit less safe now. Well, Fluffy Aimers, though, they do have to get Foresight out of this position inside a closet, which we have seen is a very proficient spot for him.
A lot of pressure coming over to Mass Bedroom. Rice with the first pick. It looks like a move is going to be made by Fluffy Aimers with a lot of time still remaining in this one. Rival going to open up the floor. Foresight, duck your head. However, Emilio does make this doable, making it a 4v3. Deity He's putting a lot of pressure on main hall. Oh, the C4! It catches out Abu Nai as he walks into the explosive. And now it's all down to Kronk and Fluffy Aimers. They're on the attack. They're on the front foot. Kronk has to do a lot of work. The diffuser's been picked up. Fire on the floor. And it's fire on the defense as everything burns to the ground. Fluffy Aimers get it quickly, too. There might have been, like, what, a minute 30 left?
Yeah.
WildCard just collapsed early on their defense, and now it's a readjustment period, and I would imagine we see a second floor again. Yeah.
No
They're gonna
cranking
go
today
right back
from
to
the
this
Kronk.
site. WildCard, they're going to have to adjust.
I really like the way that this attack.
Did the
works
guy that
from
died to the
Fluffy
vert angle
Aimers.
just not hear the
You see a lot
floor
of
getting
emphasis
opened up
being
beneath
put
him?
on
The Ash
taking out
opened the angle, and
players
he just
that
like
they
didn't
know
seem to
they can kinda
adjust.
get versus ones on, right? And that position inside a closet that we see Foresight playing, which has been a thorn that a lot of teams have never quite been
No,
able
this
to
is
get out.
food. This is beans. Someone put beans inside the computer.
Gratsu! Thank you so much for gifting the sub to Tanner. High Ground Tanner, one of the GOAT YouTubers.
Nick is on that doorway and he's gonna catch him out on that rotate. And even
I went to mute my fucking mic so I could take a bite of my sandwich, and I muted the stream. My bad.
As quickly as Deity did, it weakens these positions that would normally kind of be meant to help each other, where they're now a lot more isolated than beforehand. There has been a mute jammer placed on that doorway over by Trophy, which is going to make it a little bit more difficult for Deity to get that Flores drone in. But there is still a lot of work that WildCard Ace or the Fluffy Aimers can do here.
Yeah, DID did do a lot of work with that Flores drone. He doesn't have a kill, but he was very crucial to helping open that round. He kind of just snuck by the mute jammer in that last one and was able to get rid of that shield. I think it caught the defender who was in trophy really off guard. But look again, he's going right back towards Armory. And Kronk has a lot of tower pressure as well. He does pull out his Flores drone. Is he able to find anything is the question. And that blitz from JJ, that might just catch somebody with their pants down in the restroom.
Granger, my camera has literally only ever died twice, but
WildCard,
we're currently in a heat
gotta
wave,
adjust,
so
gotta adapt.
as long as the heat wave is going on, we're
They
probably not
might
going to have
have
cams for most of the
defensive
streams.
On this one, it
But
might
give it a
be
week or so,
huge
and it'll come back.
difference maker for how this whole series pops out. Oh, but
JJ
there's kills
gets
going
in.
down.
JJ gets in and he gets the opening pick. Rival gets one as well. Teddy does manage to get one back off of a flank, and almost JJ getting picked off as well. But Fluffy Aimers are in the driver's seat thus far. They have a little bit of time to get onto the side before Teddy is able to work his way back. But Kronk on the slowing angle inside of Attic is going to be a little bit of a pain to deal with.
JJ just waltzes in through trophy. Kronk is still playing out towards tower. They haven't really dealt with this Attic push. They seem to be favoring other methods of attack. Fluffy Aimers. This defense has gone better for WildCard, but the numbers are still in favor.
33 degrees inside my house.
4v3. Abu Nai awaits.
36
And this tower
outside.
presence from Kronk. It hasn't been dealt with, really. He can come over and collapse from Attic at any point. And where is JJ with his blitz? He was able to inch up slowly, but hold on. Teddy deals with one, snaps on the JJ. Kronk as well gets a kill. And now immediately, it's all down to Nick. A 1v3.
All right, I'm done my
This
sandwich
is
just in
not
time
low
for
because
Nick
of
to
AP
come back with
for
the
IG all
1v3.
sides. Nick's
Here we
low
go.
HP, Kronk and Teddy are as well. This surely is going to be a wild card bounce back to give them the advantage, but does Nick have something up the sleeve? Does he have an ace in the hole against
I actually don't
WildCard?
believe in him at all, chat. He's literally,
Master, 30 seconds
they know
left.
exactly where he is.
Something
They're
uses
playing super passive, and he's on
imagine
20
it's gonna
HP.
have
He's
to be
this is actually
execution
impossible.
Style win. Wildcard awaits 15 seconds. This is impossible for Nick at this point. There's so
The
many
correct
angles
call
to
from
get.
Nick,
They
once
know
he
where
realized
to
they're
go.
playing hyper passive, is just to hold W.
If he tries to do anything,
Because they were not swinging him. They're taking this game very
in
seriously.
wildcard
As they
bounce
should.
back.
This is an important game. The winner of this goes on to the group stage. They get out of effectively play-ins. They move on to the groups.
Absolutely will there. And I think kind of
Trying to figure out where I want this volume.
Really dismantled that attack for Fluffy Aimers is that, I mean, one, Teddy was kind of allowed to do his thing and walk up a staircase and kill a man, but they also I think there was pressure from Attic they weren't anticipating. I don't think they really thought Kronk was going.
What
to
kind of
be
sandwich? It was a
there, and that
BLT.
position that he had,
I'm finished it now,
even
so
if
I'm
he
back to
didn't
talking.
kill anyone from it, is
I've been
still
eating
something we
in
have
this
to be
heat
concerned
wave.
about.
I've
In
been
fact,
really getting
even in
into
that one
carrots
versus
and
three we saw
hummus
Nick
as a
have,
snack. Oh
he
my
was
god, it's
concerned about a
delicious. I
player
used to not
seeing
like
inside of
carrots, but
Attic
like,
that entire time.
fuck.
And
With a
so
little
because
hummus,
of the
I
fact
just
that they're
love
afraid
hummus. I
of
think
just
is
waltzing in
the
off of
key
the vaults
factor
like
there.
they wanted to, they end up wasting a lot of time.
Who had a
and they
better
give
rookie season,
WildCard
Spoit
time
or
to problem
Diffuser?
solve.
Spoit.
Now we are going to go on
But
to the defense
I would
here
consider
for
rookie
Fluffy
season to be
Gamers,
an
which
entire
is
year.
a
So
side that they have been very good
Diffuser's
at
rookie
in
season is
general,
still
but on this
ongoing.
map
He could
specifically
overpass.
was, very, very clean win rate on this
He
side
could
for him.
overtake.
It was like a 75% if I recall. And going on to this basement site, those are odds I like if I'm Fluffy Gamers.
It's Boss G time. Deities pulled it out. And it looked, they had a Jackal for a moment, but Teddy switched off of that for the Hibana. So there is some adjustments coming.
You say
out of
Diffuser because he won
WildCard.
NAL, but
I
Spoit
mean, my
didn't
eyes
win
on DD. I
EUL?
love the Boss G getting whipped. It's my
Yeah,
favorite weapon in the game.
I think watching Beast Coast in
Absolutely.
Manchester
We see a
though,
lot of quick work
like,
being made of the map here.
first of all, Diffuser played really well. I got nothing bad to say
Oh,
about Diffuser.
in
That's not
fact,
true.
Ab and I just
I'm about to
walked
say
down
something bad about
Fraser
Diffuser.
stairs and immediately kicks
Diffuser's a
off
great
GG.
player and he played well through
As it didn't
Manchester,
look
but
like
he
they
also
were
made like a
prepared
lot of
for aggression
mistakes
to come out that
in
fast.
Manchester.
And there's not a lot of pressure.
And I don't remember
The
so much
Fluffy
about
Gamers
Spoit's run.
have
Maybe
to try
Spoit
to
also
get
made a bunch of
off the
mistakes
pace.
and like my hindsight is
Kronk
forgetting
gonna
it.
make his way upstairs to try to deal with some of these players that are top floor.
But like,
but they
Spoit
have
just
started
played
to
better
fall back,
in
at
his
least
first
for the
stage
most
than
part,
Diffuser did in
but
his
Nick
first
is in an
stage.
awkward
Both
spot.
played well.
Rival
Nothing
is
against
just
him, but
walking into a death
Oh!
fire, but he's gonna grab one. The way he escapes. How is he still alive? He's been.
He's
flashed
not
multiple
escaping,
times.
but he
There's
could get
drums,
two
there's
here.
players. Everything seems to be converging
Nah.
onto him. Finally, they're able to.
I kind
get
of
a
wish he just
flush
swung and pre-fired,
out
to
of
be
him,
honest.
and it's gonna
He
make this
swung
a
and then just like
3-3, but
stood
that
there
early
with his
pick onto JJ
gun
is-
not scoped in.
That man advantage has
That's tough.
evaporated. It's now tied up here in the life department. And I was surprised that Rival was able to walk out of that with anything. But you talked about it previously on WildCard's defense. It's massive to walk away with a 5v5 when the execution comes through. But now it's going to be a 3v3 and still some time for WildCard.
They have plenty of time to work this here and open these hatches, get these pieces in position, though they do have less pieces to move around. thus
Diffuser was
far.
the second best player on the
Those smoke
team.
canisters that Rice
I
has
don't
been
know.
saving so far,
Gunner was definitely the
with
best
each
player on that
second
team.
ticks down, they get more and more powerful. No
I'd have to
matter
look
where he
back at my
throws them,
notes and
if he's
figure out
able
who I
to
thought
get
was the
Kronk
second
with
best
them,
player on that team.
Kronk doesn't
Diffuser's
have the
definitely in
HP to
contention.
survive them.
Rice, key player towards Laundry Stairs. And he's going to be the key player with the actors are being popped. 55 seconds.
Is CGG still up?
Oh no, the smoke is down.
Or
There's no
still
more smoke
down, I mean?
canisters,
It
as
was
well as
down.
man advantage goes towards the AC.
I don't really care who had the higher
There's
CGG rating
a
though.
lot of pressure over towards this freezer and laundry side. And you can see
Like, I think
DFG has
rating
to back
stats
himself up.
are
Oh,
important and they have their
Lyric
place,
opened up, and
but
that
using them
is
as like the be all end all for like who's better or who
information.
performed
So
better,
what
I think is
happens
very
for
silly.
Rice? 30 seconds left. WildCard has to make their move now. Here comes Foresight. He's
Fluffy
gonna
Gamers
drop
win this
back.
round.
He knows where these players are. It looks like they're gonna
Hard
push
win
them
this
back
round.
up. Deity drops.
Everybody
He hasn't been
stacked
able
up
to get anything
freezer.
really with this Boss G.
They get a crossfire on this.
And now Deity does get one. As I say that, Caster's curse, you want to call it. There's a player on the floor. It's all down to Foresight. Just in the blink of an eye, he's only got 10
0
seconds.
and
He doesn't
3,
have
get
the
ready for
diffuser.
0 and
Can't get
4.
that final bullet to go.
Unlucky.
Deity
That was
can
just a tough spot.
clutch it up on
Yeah,
the
they had man
defense.
advantage, but
That was an opportunity for WildCard.
with
They were
low
able
time,
to get
Oregon
man
basement,
advantage,
and the
open
fact they
one
sent 2
side of the
people
objective,
freezer, I think was
but
the
just
wrong call.
unable to get that final round of kills.
Yo, like I was kind of saying earlier, there's just so many positions on this map. Or
The
on that
fans
side
want me to make my
specifically that
Jeopardy
are very,
return?
very
I'd come back.
powerful,
You never
and
invited me back.
We saw they took out Rice in one of the crucial positions in that laundry closet, which meant that they kind of thought they had that side of the map for free. But Nick managed to sneak his way back in. And when he's in that position, when WildCard tried to go for that
Diffuser was the
execute,
lowest rated player on the
he's
team by the
in
end
a
of the
spot
event.
to down one of the attackers, which puts more pressure on the freezer players who both have to walk in from one doorway.
That's kind of funny.
And then whenever Nick realizes
Barely
that
below
both players
spirits.
are freezer, he goes and reinforces his teammate. And then when the player tries to walk in, he has to take 2 gunfights at once, and that's not a good. Those aren't good odds inside of Siege.
All right,
At that
Tanner.
point, it's just a 2v1 across.
I'm always down. I got
Go
nothing going
by
on
the
this
last
summer.
2
We're just
Fluffy
streaming a
Gamers
bunch.
Players. And now we're gonna see them go up to this master bet or this
Your
ace
Jeopardy's
bedroom
fucking
side here.
hard though,
So
man.
we'll see if they have better luck
The
on it
questions are like
than Wildcard Aces
ridiculous. I need to study before the next one.
This is really turning out to be something special here, folks. We've got a tied game. This one seems to be the real test.
You got ghosted?
for both of
I was
these
trying to
sides.
run
We
this
have
like
an imperious defense
stream
coming out
game
from
for a
Wildcard
while.
Aces, and a really
And Parker
surprising
kept fucking
fluffy
ghosting me and
gamers.
ruining my
I mean,
stream
not
plans.
Really surprising, but they have been performing very well so
It's
far
tough
on
out
this
here.
stage. Folks, we've got ourselves a great match. One of these teams will be promoted to the next phase here in Element 3, and another has to roll the dice again tomorrow.
A lot of pressure being applied to various areas around the map by
A lot of
Wildcard
ghosts
Aces
indeed.
here so far. You have a lot of pressure actually.
All right,
on a-
so
more
nobody roaming
pressure
on the
than
bottom
usual
floor
being
for fluffy
applied
gamers is
to
kind
this
of
west side here.
unorthodox. Perhaps just
As we
thinking
see a
with
couple
Dokkaebi
players
not being
taking
banned
that
out,
round.
they just don't
Abinai
really
as
want to
well,
risk it.
attacking towards
It's relatively
big
easy to
window.
clear out with
How
Dokkaebi
reason
on the
to
board.
believe they want to go for some sort of big window plant, and that's going to be what the Buck allows for. As he can dislodge a lot of
It
these
means Foresight can
positions
do
that the
so
defenders
much
like
work
to
though
hold
with Buck,
inside of kids.
which is
And
a
he
little
can
bit
also keep them
scary.
from playing
If
inside
they
of
could kill him
doors
somehow,
in
if they
order to
get him on a
stop
vert
that kind
angle,
of
they're feeling
fight.
really good to win this round.
The floor is being opened up. Is it going to result with any fluff coming out from underneath? Still, Foresight hasn't been able to find anything, but he's caused so much ruckus. And now, here comes the Grimm's Bees. Might be able to sting somebody out.
Yeah, I think
No,
Wildcard can
nobody's
convert
been
this
revealed
push.
Yet of Fluffy
I feel
Aimers.
good about it.
Foresight has just gone to town. He used every
The
single one of
defense
his
are in a strong
skeleton
position
bullets.
too, but they're not going for a
Now,
smoke plant, so the
that-
Warden's not
how
going to
the
do
Fluffy
too
Aimers
much.
survived that, but that floor is still very dangerous.
They're just going to toss in a bunch of flashbangs, really.
Wildcards,
Call their
they're
Dokkaebi,
putting
toss
themselves
in a bunch of
position.
Grimbees.
Rio down to 52 HP.
Teddy will
Zoom
hit
in
the
on
back.
clock. You can just sense that the wildcard attack
Oh,
is coming.
that's not
Oh,
great.
from the floor, JJ says, I'm going to grab one through this
That's not
opening.
really what you
He's
want
gonna
from your
get
guy
that kill
holding
with
the
shotgun.
defuse kit.
And
They're not
now
bringing defuse
Wildcard's
kit white,
attack
are
is
they?
gonna get that much
They're not
more
bringing
dangerous.
defuse kit white, are
No
they?
more Dokkaebi
Oh
allowed. Teddy's
no,
gonna
they're
drop
losing
as
the
well.
round, aren't
However,
they?
Gronk does bounce back
Dude,
from
I
this
swear to
point.
God, my round
Make this
predictions at a minute
doable
30 have been
for the moment.
horrendous.
Foresight has no more
Nothing
stealthy
goes as
bees.
it should.
There's no more bees for Kronk, and there's one more Ash charge. They're just putting so much pressure onto the vert control.
Yeah, they're
trying
going
to
white
catch
with this
up
kit.
somebody from underneath, but they're unable to. They're unable to.
It's like
punch
white
out
with this
any of
kit
these
and
fluffy
Deity just
gamers.
exists here.
Oh, but JJ's been
You are
causing so
not
much
getting
trouble.
up the
He knows
staircase
that
as long
there's
as Deity
somebody coming up
exists.
these white stairs. There's two players. Are they going to be ready? For
And
this?
there's
They've
nobody
got
working on
Sight
killing
over
deities, so
towards
you
these
just lose
players.
this round.
Abunai and Foresight. They're walking up. There's the swing. JJ finds one. Diffuser down on the floor. Nick finds the other. Abunai down.
Deity
to
and
30
JJ, to be
HP.
honest.
He's gonna have
I got
to
kind of
back up.
confused with the smoke
And
shotgun.
with
I thought it
that
was
successful hold
the
over
mute
just
shotgun. I thought it was
staircase,
smoke. In
it's
any
gonna be a
case,
round win
they
for
both fuck
Fluffy
on them.
Gamers. JJ grabs the last one.
Could have gotten
And
more
the
with the
round
buck,
count advantage
unfortunately
now
there.
goes to Fluffy.
In the immortal words of our Lord and Savior Intero, holds go both ways. We see JJ get 2 picks off of that vertical play. There
Mini
was
Siege
so
daily
much to
stat
get
commands.
done from Foresight, but it didn't truly dislodge anyone.
could-
as all of the positions that
Yeah,
he
I could do
wanted
that.
to clear out with that vertical play. There was still spots for the defenders to sit in and hold them. Right? We saw, I believe it was Nick, still able to exist inside of kids throughout the entirety of the skeleton key ammo, as well as JJ staying inside of dorms, no matter how much vertical play they do, throughout that entire round. And that really, I mean, it obviously is only one detail of the round, but I think that is something that is crucial for that attack, is to get that vertical play right, because you can't
Write
let
a
those
book.
defenders exist in positions.
What did you
like
do
we
differently,
saw
Spy?
JJ holding.
What
So
was
that
the
is kind
key
of what
thing
killed
that
the
really
round in the end.
boosted you up that day?
Folks, this is a massive round. We have dressed up Wildcard.
One thing I really want to do
as
is I want to
prepared.
add like
This is
operator
exciting.
mains.
You've got to win if you're going to be a good team on Oregon.
I want to make it so you can like choose a main in chat,
They've looked good so
and then
far.
you'll just be on that operator
Wildcard
more
has
often
something in them.
than other operators. It wouldn't be 100% or anything.
This is a 50-50 set.
Maybe like a
could be for a
maybe like a
tied half
60%
or
chance
for
of playing
a
that operator,
4-2 lead.
40% chance of
Fluffy
playing something
Aimers
random.
in Wildcard. Tied this
That might be a
one
sub
up.
reward.
So I think it's a question in everyone's minds, right? I like this position that
He's got it
Rivals in. This is kind of a position that we see Teddy play in a lot. and
Dude,
he
that was a
gets one.
nasty shot.
Unfortunately,
Oh
though,
my god.
only an Osa. Actually, I
That was
say
like
only an Osa,
first
so Osa's
bullet he hit the
typically
head.
crucial for this attack, and if it's a Warren versus an Osa,
That's crazy.
I'm actually liking those odds. I'm going to retract my previous statements. As Osa, those shields are often used to hold the plant as well as hold pressure over towards attic. And the fact that
This is one of the most common Osa bomb
means that
sites.
neither of those positions are going to be reinforced as much as WildCard would like them to be.
One of the problems with
That might be
Osa
a
is like
very,
a lot of
very
times on
crucial
these bad, a
one-for-one
lot of
trade.
times Osa
Oh,
gets brought on
check
these
your
like
hacks.
bad
JJ
bomb sites
waits
like
from
meeting,
below.
and
He's
these are the
gonna
bomb sites where
smother him
aggression is like
with the
most
fluff of his
common.
Weapon. Great pick there from JJ. Well, there's another fight going on over towards attic. A lot of attention being thrown over here. Nick's gonna drop
And
the
so
back,
like
but
you
there's
see
an
Osa's
army
going
crawl.
down in
You
like
couldn't see that. He might have gotten a
getting
sound
spawn
cue. I
peeked and
don't
getting
think
jumped
he
out on
Oh, he
pretty
does!
early,
Great
or
snap
pretty
there as he
often
shoots through the
compared to like your
soft
average
wall.
operator.
Now gonna make this a 2v3. But Fluffy Aimers started off so
They can
strongly
EMP
with
the
is not
bulletproof, but their
going on
nades
over
died,
to
so they
WildCard.
don't
Minute
have
30 on
any
the clock,
actual
and he
ability to
does have
destroy
the
it.
User in hand, so the power is within the offense. But does JJ and Rice have
Fluffy
some
Aimers
sort
clutch
of
us
magic
back.
to cook off? Rice only has 1 kill, but they've got no warden for these smokes. Can JJ shoot through? the
Attaboy,
smoke? Yes,
JJ.
he can.
Attaboy,
He'll lead
Rice.
Warden. It's now 2v1.
That's what I'm
The
talking
diffuser
about.
does go down.
Unfortunately,
Oh,
JJ
he's
dies
read it.
here,
Oh,
but
JJ
Rice
gets
clutches
the
up.
knock.
Yes, sir. Yes,
And
sir.
Rice
JJ
cleans
Blast
it
is gonna
up.
get the -1.
And the defense stands strong, and it's more woes from the offense of the Wild
Osa
Card.
is not a working
JJ
man's up.
shoots through.
Osa's
and
a
grabs
stupid
those
man's
kills
up. I'll
out
tell
of
you that.
thin air. Line kills those were, and it's 4-2 at the half. That was a big round for WildCard Alley.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried. I'm not gonna lie. Whenever I saw the player inside of attic get a little bit overzealous and end up getting knocked down by Teddy, but JJ and Rice just kind of have a
I also want to make the
crosshair that
operators
they are
like
able to
unique in
play
Mini
with
Siege.
together that's
Like
not
I want to make it so
crosswords.
like
But
Capcans
the fact that
can
they're in those
get
positions
trap
and that
kills and
WildCard aces were really prepared for them to be in
damn,
the,
Karn
what
is
I would call
losing.
pretty obvious positions
How
to
could this
stop
be
that
happening?
play.
Asians going
And they get
0-4.
those two
Tough.
picks, which forces Foresight
Who
into
uses
a
White
really
Flash in
bad
2024?
spot
Be real.
in that
Be
bonus
serious.
split.
Who's this
He does
observer?
have the smoke to play around, but he has to win 2 gunfights on arguably the 2 most proficient.
Osa's
fighters so
fine
far
on
in
bank pushing garage. It's not a super flexible strat, but it does do what you want it to do. Osa Club Church Drop is not actually good. I stand by that.
That's a lost pressure on for that push.
Oh, he shot a bullet. Jabase shot a little bit just before they walked in, but they weren't quite ready for it. But even though he was able to get 1 kill, it's traded out.
I think it's good in. This is the problem with most Osa strats. It's good in theory, bad in practice.
Individual one-on-one.
I think Osa Clubhouse just has too many things that can go wrong. There's too many counters to it. And in theory, if you play it perfect, you'll be fine. But if professional teams aren't playing it perfect most of the time, I think you're going to be shit out of luck.
That's what he needs to do to get his own diffuser down, but a C4 from below will get a kill onto that case holder himself.
Spiff does not clutch this.
Tail and turn down that main staircases with 15 seconds to go, and Maestro Cam still in sight, relaying them all the information that they need. It shouldn't be an easy situation for Spiff to win.
This caster sounds like Donald Trump if he was 13.
See him from out here. He's sticking it, but he's not going to get all the way through. His focal's going to shut him down. 4-1 lead, and an absolute statement start for Space Station Academy.
No, he sounds like the fucking. He sounds like a TV reporter.
However, Fluffy Aimers also get to discuss.
It's a good
things
voice,
with
to be
their
honest.
coach, whose name unfortunately escapes me, and he's no slouch either. And they're going to be able to adapt things a little.
Osa
bit
on bank
and
as
maybe
well.
work something, but Abinai is the one who ends up working that opening pick.
Well, you didn't win.
And that's your Grim that's
Tough.
down, who's so crucial to dislodge any players.
How many people are within
Wildcard
plus
on this
minus
matchup,
5?
whether it be on the
I
attack
think
or
like
the defense,
700.
They've been very aggressive. Remember that early
Somewhere
kill
around
to
there.
JJ on their first attack, and now it's Rival who's gonna bear the end of the stick and get found out.
You lost a
But
1v1 on
from
Osa? Wow, I'm
Wildcard,
not
and you'd
surprised.
imagine with their defensive strengths that this should be a position that they do not dislodge.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about this site being good if you have.
Was that happy?
man counts for the
Oh,
defense.
that makes sense.
Try man advantage. Especially with it being the
Osa
Grim
big
that was
tower
taken
push
out.
for
It's-
meeting?
he's-
The one we
he's-
just
he's
watched?
very good for displacing people and getting them out of power.
I think it's too easy to get aggressive on.
That's just gone
Push
now.
up,
JJ's
impact.
also gone,
Osa's kind of
which
useless
means
when she's
hatches
behind her
are a
shield.
little bit more, or actually
So
a
you just
lot
push
more
up, you kill the
powerful
other
now,
guys.
as there's not really any utility.
It's not
on the attack to
horrible,
get
but
them
it's
open.
like I think there's better strats.
3 players remain for Fluffy Aimers. This looks very difficult. The diffuser is down.
Serious Osa
and
straight,
Nick
Osa
is
hate in this
worried
stream?
about it. I
Always.
believe WildCard is
I've
also
been
aware
hating on
of
Osa.
the situation with the diffuser, but Rice might be able to swing in towards the laundry side of the map. He's going to start doing some drone work.
Osa should be minus 3% in each coin flip. I'm petty. I'm gonna make Osa far worse than minus 3.
Here comes also a Flores drone.
Blackbeard over
This
Osa?
is a very
Okay,
good
let's not
fight
get
right now.
crazy.
There's a minute on the clock for Fluffy Aimers and a lot
Listen,
of
I'm an Osa hater. I don't know if she's worse than Blackbeard.
the gateway toward the Thatcher to get in. Deity's going to throw a flash.
Deity flashes himself and gets the kill anyways. Foresight, please.
It's a flashbang party, but no. Wait a second.
Oh, you
Rice,
can't
Didi
afford to
gets
lose
nicked.
this.
Rice will be traded out.
They don't
Is
lose
the
it, though.
chaos gonna allow for some chaos to happen? The pistol
what
comes
is
through.
going on with
It's all
Deity?
down now to Nick. 1v2.
Deity is sprinting into the closet while his teammate is stuck inside a freezer.
Nick runs through the flames. Is he the man on fire, or will it be put out? He's gonna get into sight here.
Nick could win this.
Know his position.
Well,
Actually, they do.
He did not.
Abunai found Nick, and there's a great discipline to
Yeah,
it.
I do think
Yeah,
Blackbeard
they
is the
must have
worst
counter, 'cause
attacker.
There's a ping there that gave him
I'd
away.
imagine.
Not a
Yeah,
huge
nice
competition,
defense
to be
there
honest, but I
from
think he's probably
WildCard
bottom
Aces,
one.
But it did get hairy for a small second there.
There's a
Weirdos
really
don't like
bad
Osa 'cause
play
she's trans.
from
Real ones don't like
Fluffy
Osa
Gamers
'cause
who's
she
just
sucks.
trying
That's
to
what
get
I'm
something
saying,
going
Ben.
on that side. And honestly, I think if Nick was in a better position there, if he hadn't kind of been off on his own, that extra body might have been all Fluffy Aimers needed to
Sens is down there.
kind of take things over.
Ah,
the
well, I
edge
kinda
and
like
take
Sens.
that round win, even with the fact that WildCard
Sens is not a
Aces
great
had
op,
those
but I
two
think Sens has more
for that
potential than
5
Osa.
versus 3. But interestingly enough, we're going to see them go
Sens
for
and Osa have the
immediate
same
condition,
problem. They're just
which
countered
is
by
typically
1,000
considered the
things.
tertiary site on this
There's
map.
just too many
It is
fucking
the
explosives in this
weakest
game.
site that we see in
Wait a
usual rotation.
Why are we watching at 2 FPS?
Trying to catch Fluffy Aimers off guard, and I'd imagine
Why is it 2
once that's
FPS?
figured out with these drones,
Fixed?
they're going to start switching
Fixed?
some operators.
Okay.
They still got some times. But this is a bold call from WildCard. I think they would also agree with my sentiment that they have to get it.
Sens does one thing
on
really
with
well.
Rice.
They do, but
Reset
it's like
defense, but a lot
they
of
don't,
eggs are being
because
laid
you
in
can
the
just
basket.
impact the
There's
Sens
the
wall.
balls
That's the
to
biggest fucking
fall
problem with
from
Sens.
WildCard.
Sens and Osa are in like a similar boat, where in theory
I mean, I
there's
kinda
some cool
like it.
strats
I
you can
admire
do,
the
but
fact
in
that they're,
practice
confident enough in the site to go for it.
they're just very unsuccessful
Although I'm also
because they have a
little bit
lot of
skeptical about
actual
it,
counters.
and if I'm Fluffy Aimers and I see that they are trying to do this,
TPL
I'm
moment.
feeling pretty good here. Deity, or
Worst
Deity,
attacker
took
is
a little bit
Ace.
of
Now we
damage
know one
right
nut is
off
drunk.
of the bat at the hands of Kronk, but
Worst
not enough that he's really
defender?
too worried about it. But we see a lot of outward
Thunderbird.
aggression being thrown at Fluffy Aimers here via just peeking at any windows that WildCard Aces think they might see.
If I wanted to give
behind,
my
which
teammates an
hasn't
advantage,
been
I'd run
many
out and give
kills
them
yet,
Rook
but that's
armor. I'm not
certainly
playing
set a
Thunderbird.
precedent.
Or give my opponents the advantage.
Very aggressive start there with the spawn peaks coming from WildCard, but nothing to show of it. Nick does drop a little bit of health, so does Deity.
Tachanka has a couple of sites where I see the vision. I don't think Tachanka's great, but I see the vision a couple times with Tachanka. Rook is an acceptable answer.
Then head upstairs.
Rook and Thunderbird are both
And it
pretty
does kind of
terrible.
also make sense in the fact that they did lose one of their
Cav
defenses
is
on
also
sixth-
bad.
or on
That's
second
like bottom
floor.
3, I think.
But here comes some pressure towards the top floor. Teddy is going to lose some HP, and now it's the battle for the vertical control.
Alibi?
JJ, and I
Oh.
believe that was Deity that
Interesting.
push through that side. Oh my, Rice has found one kill.
I'm still
And
on
now
Manchester
WildCard
Major
feeling
brain.
The crunch of the pressure coming in from Fluffy. Rival's going to get another. Kronk and Emilio holding it down upstairs. It's going to exchange some bullets, but the fuser's going down. JJ going for an early plant. There's still a lot of time. DD finds another. Oh no, the wildcard defense is collapsing. The C4 doesn't find anything, and a kill through the hole. It's now all down to Abunai. Rice finds some bullets traded. Abunai is able to sneak away, and Nick has the rotation covered. And an offensive round onto this.
Was there ever a
imperious
LAN
defense.
interrogation?
And
Yeah,
the gamble
lots of
from
them.
Wildcard does not pay off.
Yeah,
Those
usually
kinda
there's one
expected
every tournament or
results
so.
for me with Fluffy Aimers,
I
they're
shouldn't say there's lots of
meticulous
them,
about
but,
the
like,
way
yeah,
they
it's happened a
position
few times.
themselves and the way they try to work that map there. And this is going to draw a tactical timeout from Wildcard Aces. And I think it's a pretty good
Alba has
one
no
here. Gives
util
them
and the
wide
spear
gives them an
clears.
opportunity
No, but
to try to set
Thunderbird has
themselves up
negative
for
util.
success on this next
Thunderbird, if you
site
use
on
the
the
gadget,
which
there's a
is
good chance
presumably
the
gonna be
attackers
taking
just take
Dorms.
whatever position you
And
put
also
that
talk
fucking
a
gadget
little
in.
bit about this
And then
attack,
all of a
as they,
sudden you're
again, have
healing the
another tactical
attackers.
timeout opportunity, unless they force one out of fluffy aimers.
If Fluffy aimers
Is Cavs
with
win rate
this
better than
attack,
Osa's? Let me look at the
it
Manchester
was,
Major and find out.
in my opinion, guarantee them
I go to my R6
map
notes.
in this series.
Manchester
card,
stat
They've
book.
got to figure out a defensive strategy here.
All
And
right.
turn their eyes to winning an attack round. Here we go. There's a
Cavs
lot
win
on this
rate in
defensive board,
Manchester.
and it's going to be second floor that's chosen for wild card. They're going to get off of that first floor site, and they're going to head on upstairs.
Cavs win rate in Manchester was 67%. She won 2 out of her 3 rounds.
On the line.
Osa's win rate
Wild
was
card.
Osa's win rate is
Defense has
very
been good,
bad.
but they've shown
Osa's
some
win rate
cracks.
was
Their offense
39%.
isn't nearly
She
as
won
good as
14 out of
defense, so this is
36.
a
So
must
Cavs win rate
win
gaps
for
Osa's.
wild card this round.
To be fair, the sample size is so small, Cavs win rate gaps
Lot of
every
pressure's
single
riding
attacker
on
except for one.
this, and
So I don't know if
kinda
you
feel
want to
for
read
the
too much
screen
into that,
almost
but
here is it's not a good look here if they end up losing this round. And like you were saying, that match point with Fluffy Aimers going on to their defense, much like how it would
don't
feel
lose
for
sights.
Chalet,
My fault.
it's not a position you want to be in. Now, they did win this against Fluffy Aimers the previous time they defended it, and that does set a precedent for them to win it again. But I would argue that a lot of that win was kind of more off of Fluffy Aimers misplaying things than the way Wildcard Aces were playing things, and they're not going
I'll
for
tell you
attacks
this.
that's anything
In
other than
Manchester,
that's like a
Thunderbird was
attack.
brought
If
3
anything,
times, only
it
won
looks
once.
more like the
Alabrai
first,
was
which
brought
means that
8 times and
Wildcard
won
or
6 of
Fluffy
them.
Aimers, they kind of want to go back to something that works.
If that ain't cherry picking low stats to prove a point, I don't know what is, but
Yet this
the
operator
stats don't lie.
selection, nothing that's jumping to my eyes immediately. They are obviously heavily focusing on getting these hard reinforced walls open. They've got the Thatcher, and they've got the Hibana. And they've also have their striker with some breach charges as well, and an EMP. So Rice might be able to make a play on his own to open up any sort
Fluffy
of wall
Aimers
if he
are
chooses so.
just looking like the better team in
Got
this
no
game, I
floors,
think.
which is something that we saw. I believe it was Nick, maybe Deity, who brought it out last time. Pressure coming through Attic.
4-2 and a half, good at
Aimers are trying
attacking,
to just snake
able to
around,
put
but they've
together,
shown very quick
able to
offenses
scrape
before
back
Attic.
some rounds even when things don't look great.
They have certainly shown quick abilities before. You see him jump onto the van from Teddy, but it doesn't work.
Oh.
You can
Which
only
defender
get
had
away
the
with
highest
something
win
like
rate?
that
Rook.
once. And
Rook was
now,
played twice and won both
the
rounds.
two-man advantage for his opponents.
Straight
even
operator
see
win
here,
rates aren't
there's
exactly
flank-
useful
there's the
because of
flank
shit
being
like that,
held
you know.
From this first floor, so if they try to go for something like
But
that,
technically,
again,
Rook went
watching
2 for
up a
2
staircase,
and was the best defender.
then Rice is in a position to stop this.
They thought they had the ace in the whole wild card, but Teddy.
A Rooney win
is
rate?
gonna
One of
fall
the
you
best,
for a
62%.
Very high risk, high reward.
Sample size of
Does
60.
not pan out. Is that gamble gonna bite wild card? There's a minute now on the clock. Fluffy has been very slow outside of that spawn challenge that they were able to deal with. It looks like the execute is looming. Rival and JJ swing. Here comes a push. Didi as well. There's stunts. Everything's being thrown into this one. Fluffy Aimers making their way. It's all down the
Deity
push
just
lane.
holds
A
W sometimes.
flawless attack
Deity
in
straight up just
wild
holds
card.
W
Tactical
sometimes and like
punch on
catches people off
offensive
guard.
struggle.
And I really think that
And
that's something you
surely
need sometimes.
It's Fluffy that will be going through to the
Sometimes
next
that's
stage
just
here
really
on
what
day
you need,
5.
especially
Oh
like, you know,
my.
as an attacking
Wildcard's
team in the middle of the
defense,
execute.
It has slowly been cracked.
Deity's that guy who
Now
makes that space.
It is all Fluffy. One more round.
It's interesting because he's not really playing those operators,
Holy,
but like
oh my, this is not the
he just
position
has
I wanna
good
be in
timing,
with
I
those
feel.
Wildcard Aces. And that
when he sees
attack-
the gap, he takes it.
That attack was beautiful. There was so much effort. We see a lot of effort from Fluffy Aimers.
You're gonna bring up the
put into
Rook
kind
point tonight in voice chat with your
setting
team,
things
and you're
up
gonna get kicked
and
while
then
asking to
kind of
play Rook.
setting off almost like a Rube Goldberg
Let me know how that goes,
of
Jeff.
an attack that ends up with a lot of bodies falling at once from these positions that Fluffy Aimers are holding, which they then kind of leverage into actually taking.
Operators
the
should have
site.
win
And
plus
we've seen
minus
some
instead of
cases
win
that are kinda
rate.
meant to activate
I
later
mean-
than others, like JJ on that window.
They do. Like, there's nothing
Never
stopping
too
you from
much
using plus
until
minus.
Pilates had already started falling, so he can kind of catch someone in the pandemonium that's
Like,
caused
nobody
by
tracks
the
this
rest
shit
of the site
publicly
falling
except
into
for
chaos.
well, yeah, nobody
Now,
tracks this shit
they have an
publicly.
opportunity.
Lots of
They have
people, I'm sure,
three
do privately.
defenses to lock this out and they even get to start match point on the best defensive side in the game.
What a story this Fluffy Aimers team has shown. They have looked so good, and they deserve a 3-1 after today's performance. It's just going to require a basement win. Can Fluffy Aimers get this one done in 10? I mean, Ali, I think you would agree with me. This is a tremendous Fluffy Aimers team, and they've shown some real great strategies. They play as a team. They do have some cracks, and I think maybe
Best defender plus minus was Warden, plus 61, 56%.
I love the team passion, and their ability to play as a unit. A wild card, if they can get those offenses better, they can be a real factor. But this is a round where they can try and show that they do have something on the offense.
This is the make or break round for wildcard aces here, and everything from this series relies upon it.
Means how we should be talking about on desk and graphics.
See a lot of
No, I disagree.
pressure coming
Because, like,
from
first of all, we don't talk about
Fluffy
operators
Aces
very
first
much on the
and
desk or on
allows
graphics.
wildcard aces to take a lot of
Typically, we
ground
talk more
very
about player
quickly.
stats.
But as for
However,
a 5
if I
versus
am
5
using a
is key on
stat
the site, it's kind of a win
on
for the
broadcast,
defense.
like if I'm trying to make the point on
And there is
broadcast that like Ying is
delay
really good,
hatches a little
right?
bit,
I did
but,
that at SI.
some
Win
sense
rate
of
is going to be
one
more
of them,
important
but
because
it's
it
not
like
gonna be
it
too
just
much
has
of
its
an
own
issue.
context. You already know what
Entering the final
60%
minute in
means.
30 seconds
Plus
here,
5
the
could be
most
great.
important
It
round
could
of this
mean
game
nothing depending
for
on what the
wildcard
sample
aces.
size is. So it's just
the
easier
last
to
minute
understand a
30 for
percentage.
Fluffy.
And if I'm
Inside
choosing
of
to use a
Swiss
Ying
Spades
stat
and this
of,
wildcard,
you know,
want a constant
win rate
drama
60% on
to make
broadcast,
this one 60.
I'm not going to do that unless there's a good
You'd
sample
be
size.
feeling a lot of pressure
And I'll probably
from
say the
with
sample size on
multiple
air.
entry points for wildcard. A minute 15. The execute is looming. Emilio positioning himself towards blue barrels. Oh, hold on a second. Abunai does find some damage down to rival over by Pillar. Does the impact trick work? I believe so, and that does stop the Hibana from opening up that wall. Oh, and another one. Does that one work?
Like,
out
I'm not
well?
gonna do a
Nick finds
segment,
the opening blood.
Like
Rice is
first
gonna
play
be
day of the
trying to
NAL
get
about how
the
Rook is the
second
best
on the
operator
clock.
in the game because he
Hibana
went
has been
undefeated in
slowed down.
Manchester,
There's no
right?
more breaching
Like,
charges.
yes,
for
100% is a
Hibana.
misleading
Right
stat
up,
for
gonna
Rook,
pop
but it's
four
just
glasses.
not a segment.
Nick drops. Now wild
You're
card
never
is
gonna
moving
hear
in.
that stat
They
on a
still have to
desk,
execute.
right?
Great shots from rival. JG as well. It's a 3v2. Foresight and Teddy. It's all down to them. They're gonna lock up that wall, batten down the hatches. Everyone reach.
Wildcard
the
lose.
base.
This
We have
is-
30 seconds, and then
That's
we're
such a
in the
tough
stage.
bomb site.
Teddy
Oh, I
flies
like
in.
the C4
Foresight
shot.
gets the hatch. They're going.
They're on cam, though, as
trying
they
to make
walk
a
in.
way in. They have claimed the B site. Does he go for the diffuser? He's so worried about a potential C4 that's going to be thrown over the wall. Foresight takes damage. He's going to drop. It's all down to Teddy, but no, JJ and Co advance. The captain closes it
Easy
out, and
does
he said
it.
on Twitter that this has been a difficult.
I love JJ Blast. That guy's a fun player.
Cool. You know, SSGA will have the opportunity.
All
to
right,
bring Karn
Fluffy
Pro to
Aimers
Shala.
will move
Now,
on to the
it
group
don't
stage.
do terribly much. You have the
Wildcard
stats
Academy
on
play tomorrow in a
I
final
have
best
never
of
really
3
considered it a
to
mainstay in
either
their
qualify
pool.
or be eliminated in the last round of
In
Swiss.
fact, last time Karn
We
Pro
moved
played
to
Shala,
SSG
they
versus
only won
Karn.
3 rounds against
Winner of
Windows,
this
and they
also
took
moves
the L.
on. Looks like we might be going to a break on this one too, though. Pretty quick here.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
Karn
one.
gets this kill though.
But yeah, so
No, he doesn't.
basically, this is to say that this is a pretty rough start to the map for Karnico. Not to say that you can already chalk Chalet or that this map has already ended.
All good. One.
It's a 6-2 lead, where the only bomb site you had won on defending in the first half of the game, you just lost. So now
Payouts, you're
you gotta
right.
Try cash and CC.
That was a
First time this game. And hopefully it's not the last
regulation
time
win
they
for
defend.
Fluffy
This
Aimers.
game is SSG
Nobody
will
believed in
start
Fluffy
off
Aimers.
trying
That
to
was the
work that
least
mid
picked
wall, but
option.
again, just
Ratley
trouble with
eating
hard
good
pitching,
tonight.
But no trouble with getting the first pick. As you know, Space Station Academy, that's something they can always do reliably. This time, it's Fens down first off.
What's up, Redroke?
Now the big
We were
question
watching your game.
who
You were casting that
back
game,
from
weren't
the-
you?
considering the
Sorry,
fact
I'm not
that
great with the
they're already
voices.
Facing so much pressure down in lounge,
no.
and then there's gonna be even worse for the player in Garage Rafters. I mean, there's just nowhere for.
We
Swift
watched
to
map
really
3.
go.
We didn't
All
watch the first
utilities
2
are gonna
maps.
be sent towards him. Who is that jumping down? Center is just jumping down, trying to alleviate some of that pressure. Is successful in that matter as of now.
Caught in the fire is Spiff, but only for a little bit. The floor is drone's gonna kill him.
Yeah,
though.
apparently Karn's been
That's just the way it is.
struggling.
That's just how it is.
Not the
against a
player, the
utiled
team.
up like
Asian's been struggling, the
SSGA.
player.
When you're playing up on rafters, there's only so much you can do to evade everything. You just gotta
If
pick your poison
anybody
back
was
and
to
pick
clutch
the
this up,
lethal
it would be
Flores.
Karn.
and left
Sight
Karn
possession.
in a 4-on-2. Center has since
Fuck.
died. Karn left alone, and
Immediately,
it's
slowly
insane.
swings into a
I can see.
currently being
SSJ
fired
have
pre-fire.
closed
That's
out
an insane way to die.
7
That's actually an insane way to lose the round.
starting
That's
us
tough.
off dominantly in their own favor.
Remember how we said
Red Rock, are you casting game 2 on that
SSJ
stream?
can be kind of this entire event, even leading up to the event? All right, I'm kind of just not even worried about it. I mean,
They're
just
up.
look at that. Look, they're way up. The stocks are up. Invest now into SSJ.
You're not? Rip.
Because they just beat Carnico on their best map so far.
Easy
and it was not
peasy.
even close.
Mossy said it in chat. Nobody beats Karn on club.
Karnico just
I guess SG Academy
felt
do.
like they were always at disadvantages. At most, they were even, but then SSGA would make it a disadvantage. And they were playing so well in so many different facets. We're going to give everybody...
The
some
cam
time
indeed
to
was
go over what we
overheating.
just saw on that last map. And then we'll be back with map number
'Kay, we
2
are gonna
of the
watch,
series. We're gonna play, but first,
Makers
we're gonna
versus
head to
Aerial
our
Arise, but apparently it's not on for another 11 minutes. So in the meantime, we're going to hang out. If you guys want to know any more Siege stats, let me know. In the meantime, we'll GeoGrid. It's not my settings, it's the heat wave, Redroke. I would root for Karn and Co, but to this day I have no clue what it is except for Karn and 4 rotating players. That's pretty much it. Karn and Co wins Chalet and then Khan's up in the air. Isn't Chalet the decider? Let's do flag with the star. And only red, white, and blue. Red, white, and blue flag with a star. Oh. I'm stilly. Liberia. Obviously. For a second I couldn't think of one, but like, yeah, everybody knows Liberia. Flag with a star in North America? Flag with a star in North America. Oh, Honduras. Of course. Nice. I don't think there's any other... I'm not actually sure. No, I don't think there's any other flags in North America with a star like that. Maybe the Caribbean. Flag with a star, GDP per capita over 30K. Rich nation with a star on their flag. I think we play it safe here and we just go with the obvious pick. China. What? Wait, is their per capita GDP not actually 30K? Oh shit, I'm trolling. All right, let's just go. Let's stop trolling then. Hello? All right, I'll stop trolling. I'll stop trolling. I'll stop trolling. I just thought, like, I was just thinking rich nation and I just clicked China. But they have a ton of people, so it makes sense. Capital city over 2 million, red, white, and blue. I don't really want to go UK. What else is red, white, and blue? With a bunch of people. What other countries even? Oh, Russia would be red, white, and blue. Moscow's got to have over 2 mil. Easy. And then I think this one we just keep it simple. Nice. GDP per capita over 30K. Island nation. Surely Japan fits this bill. Right? I don't think there's a richer... Japan or New Zealand? Because New Zealand's going to have fewer people. New Zealand's pretty wealthy. Yeah, let's go New Zealand. Nice. I don't know if they'd count Australia as an island. I would, but most people kind of don't. Rich and a big capital city. That could be like anything. Give me like... You think France? I bet France is over 30. France isn't that many people. Nice. Island nation in North America. How about... St. Kitts and Nevis. North America, capital city over 2 mil. Oh, Canada. What? 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 How the fuck did Canada not land there? Fuck off! What do you mean Canada doesn't count? Oh my god, our capital isn't Toronto, it's Ottawa. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. Holy shit, I'm dumb. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. I live in this country. Oh no. We are? You are an island or a continent? Don't clip that. Please don't clip that. Fuck. No. This is Premier In by Good Kid. What's up, CD? God damn it. I was gonna go Mexico too, but I was like, let's be patriotic. Let's go Canada. We're doing okay, CD. Could be better. My cam's overheating. I don't know the capital of my own country, and, well, at least JJ Blast is winning. Holy shit. 5 minutes still, Makers versus Aerial Rise chat. Cuba? Cuba would have made sense, yeah. God, I'm so silly. We didn't do the R6 till today. Hibana. Female op 2016. Okay, hold on. We can bink this. Female Defender 2016. Mira, right? Is Mira in Viper Strike? I kind of feel like she is. Maybe Jackal is. Maybe they both are. I don't fucking know. Could it be anybody other than Mira? What were the 2016 ops? Oh, it could be Frost, right? Yeah, it could be Frost. Okay, could be Frost. Could be Valk. No. Valk is technically from Israel, which is this game considers to be in Asia. So it can't be... No, that's Ashe. Oh, I'm fucked up. I'm stupid. No, it could be Valk. I mixed up Valk and Ashe. Okay. So it could be Frost. Could be... Valk. Could be, What did I initially say? Mira. Was Mira 2016? I think so, right? Was Mira before or after Ying? I know Ying's not a defender, so it's not going to be Ying, but... Okay, I kind of think Mira's Viper Strike anyways. I just don't want to go Mira. Let's think between Valk and Frost. Breach in front. I think it's a 50-50. Which one's more likely to be Viper Strike? I feel like Valk is more likely to be Viper Strike, so let's go for Frost. God damn it. Yeah, that was a straight 50-50, I think. NT, I did as well as I could. Mira was 2017. Ah, my bad. Ying was not 2018. Could have been Cav. Cav was 2017 too. Oh, no, Cav was 2016. I'm so bad at the years. Oh, thank you. Sure. I've been delivered ice. All right. SG Academy versus Karn going into map 2.
It seems like that's certainly the idea there, and makes sense.
We're gonna move over to Aerial Rise
You
versus
don't even necessarily need to walk in.
whoever
Just
they're
open that
playing.
wall and then make sure nobody's on half wall, and then it's pretty simple from there.
What's Ice gonna
to
do in
just
this
make
weather?
sure that
Cool me down.
Area upstairs is clear, and then clearing that off in a facilitated dining plan. Again, you don't have to take the full control.
Yeah, Ying was
of the
definitely
floor if you end
2017.
up going for a dining side take. SSG though, kind of pivoting at least the majority of their players towards this solar side. So maybe it'll be a solar trophy side hit to try and plant in kitchen. That seems to be at least.
Was Ying really
where they're stationing
2018?
one
I don't
of
think
their
that's
players
right.
up on the windows,
Was Ying
trying
before
to
the
get some early
Koreans?
pressure, but it's Jabates.
How does my
Jabates went into the
PC
garage,
deal with
and
the
he's actually
heat?
gonna try and go up the hatch.
My
Quick
my
sense
PC's
as
been
well.
fine. I've
And
never had any
Bass
issues with my
walked in
PC.
for the Amaru, but there's nobody on the solar stairs.
It's just the
So now
camera.
they just try and slow
Maybe I
things
should
down
just
a little bit.
shove
Flashbangs
some
to see if
thermal
they can
paste
kill
into
the
my
player
camera
towards
and see
Bear.
what
They're
happens.
just gonna keep falling back. Still flashed out though. Is Spiff. It's a
Maybe I
real
just
time
cover the
Jabates.
lens in
Here he
thermal
goes
paste.
For more, but he only goes for broke as Asian gets the kill onto him, and another one of his teammates is taken down earlier, so that makes it an advantage for Karn & Co. And SSGA need to pick up the pieces.
SSG Academy not really clearing much of anything. They're just trying to go for a very fast push and keep getting punished for it. Fins on a triple kill in the round.
This is
Literally
probably the
shit
best
on
Sens
over
bomb
to
site in the
Solar,
entire
trying
game.
to find
They
any
still
pathway
failed with it,
building
unfortunately.
that matter, 'cause everybody else
I
is
kind of wish
dead.
they had a
And due to the
glass.
fact
I feel like
that they
Sen's
just
glass
have
is kind of
not
good on this
cleared
bomb
much of
site.
anything, leaves Karn & Co. to just sit back, hold those positions,
But
and
it's always
keep
going to be kind of
people
gimmicky no matter what, right?
tough
Like,
angles to fight by SSG Academy.
they
and
tried
just
the
pop
shortcut with the
Fins
Sens. Didn't
4
work
kills
out.
in
It
a row,
happens.
just absolutely putting the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, great time.
PCs generally have a base temp of 35, so the weather being 35 outside isn't even that bad. Fair enough. Oh, predictions. I'm not going to do predictions because we're not actually watching this game. We're just watching this game until the other game starts.
They had a hard time starting off individual rounds at an advantage, but this time
Oregon
they're
Kitchen and
starting off
Dining
home
for
now
Sens?
in a pretty
You get
solid
nasty
spot.
lineups from
So
White
you'll have to
Window?
see that in terms of just some
Wait, where does
morale
it
boosting
go?
for Karn & Co.
Does it go through, like,
Getting down
shower?
as well,
Or not through
SSGA.
shower, but through,
I
like,
doubt
the
they were
shower
playing
hall?
with a lack of respect,
Or is it
but
into
rather just
security?
trying to sneak something under them, but I think Karn & Co. proved pretty well.
I don't think I've
last
seen
week.
that before, CD.
Or not even
I think
last
you're
week,
leaking
just
tech.
Yesterday, in the last round in their
I don't think I've ever
best
seen that done in a
team.
pro game before.
They can certainly handle it when you try to
Cuts
go
out the
really
single
fast
wall
and
from White
spot
Window.
one of their gaps as
Okay.
they adapt pretty quickly there. and
Okay,
convert the gap that they
okay.
needed to.
And don't
I see what you're
necessarily
saying.
blame SSG Academy, because most of the series so far, they've been able to punish those gaps and hit.
Yeah.
very
The
fast
problem
and
with that is you
hard.
need somebody to
So,
actually run
not
kitchen and
necessarily
dining.
the worst idea, considering they try to go for
That's the
both
only issue with that
those
strat.
areas, try to catch him a little bit off guard, but ultimately does not work, considering the fact they just didn't do much of anything for as far as util clear, which, as we've already mentioned, both of these teams love to play around their utility. So going on to
Brazilian
more games with
teams?
Karn &
Alright,
Co.
fair.
Finally, in the actual round advantage for the first time, I want to say this entire series. So very good start by them. Need to continue to play towards.
Don't
them,
tell
just
6K.
playing around each other.
Hey,
really.
6K are
I know Fins
cruising.
Got 4 kills in that round, but it seemed like
That's the
Karn &
best
Co.
team in
were
Element
actually
3 you're
playing a
talking about
lot
right there.
tighter in terms of their overall positions, played a little bit more cohesive, and just not overall giving up so much.
Maybe
space to
APAC?
SSG.
I don't know. I'm sure it'll come back
We
around
see
at some point.
SSGA again, doing a great job droning in their entries and trying to get them that info. The drone with the little pivot step backwards, that's focal. Perhaps trying to bait out that
What's up,
swing
Sinnoh,
for
dude?
Asian to see if
been
he
a
can
while.
Get over aggressive and Jabates can catch him, and that's exactly what ended up happening towards the west main stairs. But it didn't quite work out, as we only saw Jabates for a fraction of a second, and then he'll just
SG
run
Academy on
around as
top?
soon as possible.
Who did SG Academy
Head back
lose to?
towards where his teammates are, as he's already spent a minute of the round, and
Realistically,
well,
the
this
best
space
team
game
in
for SSGA.
Element
Nobody
3
loses
is
any HP,
is
so I'm sure
WildCard,
they're not
but
too disappointed on either side about how the round
SSG
ended.
Academy got 7-1'd by
SSG
6K.
Academy can play around
last
entirely
week.
with kitchen dining or the bombs map, and now they can continue to put that pressure.
You're trying to
forward.
relearn
There's
C?
still Fens
Fuck that.
upstairs in the middle of office that they're gonna have to worry about, considering that he can move his way over.
I'll
towards
take
that
my hand-holdy
master
Python every
office
day of the
area
week.
and
Thank
just
you very
play
much.
around that hatch in the middle of kitchen. So Karn & Co. do still have options to be very aggressive on this roam, but look at this, Jabates still trying to hunt down these roamers upstairs.
Good night, One Nut. Hopefully you feel
I
okay
don't even know
tomorrow.
if they know he's this far forward, but it's not going to matter. His bay will kill the player inside of office before Jabates
They didn't have the
has to
Oregon
step
tech.
in.
The map
And
was
really
cafe.
dope to them, is Bay still above half HP, or I guess a little bit below because he's got 110. But Vil is going to make sure that Asian, the next one to fall. Good trade back from center to make sure that Vil stays humbled. but it's just a one.
I think Aerial Rise is the best tier 2 team right now. I think Makers are better, but we'll find out soon. We'll find out in a few minutes. They're still doing instructions on the casting desk.
But you're just sitting in mezzanine and
All
they
good,
know
rejoke.
where to expect you. So the element of surprise not on the side of Karn & Co. And SSGA trying to put it on their side as the Lion scan goes off. And Focal gonna try and hit through Mudroom.
Yeah, I'm just fixing the cam right now, guys. Just give me a sec. I'm working on it, as you can see.
Very nicely, but here goes center getting aggressive, and I don't think they have anybody on the blue stairs, so that's exactly where he
Yeah, it's a
needs
smart
to go.
time to get aggressive.
Case has been
Oh!
dropped, and the 45 player gets
That's
dropped
kinda
right
beauty.
after.
That's kinda
Center does
huge.
wonders for his
Oh my
team.
god, they
They
clutched
step
this.
Spiff to make
That's
it
the Karn & Co
all
difference
better.
right there.
And now Jabates
That's
is
what
alone.
separates a
SSGA
Karn. Not that
tries
Karn
so
did that,
hard
but that's what separates somebody
to
on
get a
Karn's
little
team for
sneaky
someone on
into sight
JetCon's team.
itself, but now
Don't you
no
forget
pace
that.
for your sole remaining player. He's got 5 seconds to find 2 kills. Player in the corner is Spiff, and he's not even going to die. He'll win that fight towards the
Both
Ivy.
today and yesterday, I started stream with cam on, but as soon as it crashed, I just kept it off. Because I don't want to like damage my camera, you know? Keep turning it on and off, having it crash over and over. Center is Surf's brother. Oh, wait, I didn't know that. I think somebody did tell me that once, but I didn't remember it.
That top mezzanine area, but instead, Lion Call from Bay signals for Karn & Co. that they're going to be shifting their focus down towards a fireplace push. And instead try
Maps
to
are going to be
avoid
Clubhouse,
the
Cafe,
Karn
and I
& Co.
didn't see the
center,
third.
getting those crucial
Oregon
kills
for
into
Makers
Mudroom
versus
and
Aerial
45
Rise.
really shut down that entire push by SSG Academy, gave some more space to Karn & Co. to actually maneuver themselves around because of the fact that SSG gave up that
Why does
space.
SG Academy never pick up
Karn
the
&
big
Co.
team like Makers?
Really been shutting
And
down
big is
just
pretty
how
relative. I
lack
think
of
SG
actual
Academy and
clears
Makers
by
are
SSG Academy and
on
by
similar
SSG
levels.
in 2 rounds so far
But I would
have tried
guess
to go
that
for
Makers
different
pay more than
pushes
SG
when
Academy do.
than they were initially setting up for, and go complete opposite direction and get shut down.
Karn was on
both
B Scouts before they went and made
instances.
the major winning
Right now,
team?
trying
No,
to
Karn has
utilize
never
that
played
progression
Tier
has
1.
Not been paying off for them so far.
Karn is like the greatest Tier 2 player of all time. He's never played Tier 1.
Yeah, I'm curious to see.
SG Academy don't pay their players? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Pick of Glads will pay off for SSGA, as there isn't really too much that I feel like synergizes with it. You know, you normally want some other operators with smokes. Maybe a Ying goes well with it. Maybe something that'll try and get into the bomb
Yeah,
site
Karn's the
quickly, and then
gatekeeper.
Glads is just there to play around the smoke as you get a plant down. But really isn't too much else. They only
Confusing
have
Karn and
6
Mr.
smoke
B.
grenades.
2 goats. An easy
The rest
mistake
of
to
the lineup
make.
Seems like it's trying to be pretty default in terms of getting a solid execute going. So that'll be
I don't
an
think there's
interesting
buyouts.
selection to see
CD.
how that pans out later on. But for now, they're
I don't know. I've been on
setting
record
some
saying I
main
think
garage
Academy
and
teams are
wondering
fucking
if
stupid.
This is going to be a main garage.
My understanding is like the SSG Academy team
It's
is
hard
literally
for me
just
to
like the
tell,
org
but
wanted
it's
to
certainly
support the
not
Tier
gonna
2
fast,
scene.
considering the fact
And they
that
don't
Ben's
really get
cheap
much
and
benefit out of
attractive,
it.
so that's already a win for SSG Academy.
But they just
does
want to support
maybe
the scene.
look like they could be
Maybe get some extra
beneficial,
fans
but overall,
from
this
Tier
looks
2,
like a
but
kind
they
of
put
a
basically no money in
slow
and they
take
get
by
basically
SSG
nothing out.
Academy. It might be wrong, but as soon as this wall gets open, I wouldn't expect an immediate push in.
Yeah, it seems like you
They
are
probably get to
not
scrim
quite
the
moving too fast, though they've got
main
the
SSG
right
roster
center
with a
on
bit of
side,
priority or something.
which seems a little bit uncanny.
ITV and Wild Academy have
In a competitive
buyouts.
match, maybe in your ranked games that it fit the bill,
Interesting.
but having 3 whole people out here, yeah, they actually are going to go relatively fast. Try and get it planted towards the bins, but it's just not worked out. C4 for Fens is not going to be the only time he's denied Focal what he wanted to do this round. The bandit trick was one thing, and the kill with the C4 is another. Now Jabate's trying.
Is this
to
still a
play
winnable
cover.
round? If
Smoke
he's
is
got
gone,
crazy
but
glass
the Lawrence
cover,
can work.
he does
Yeah,
not.
Suppressor on that means it's kicking a little more than normal, and so he's only able to get the one. Karn and Spiff will clean it up. Karn
You're
and
leaking?
Bo
I won't tell anyone.
make
Don't
it
worry, CD.
3-0.
This is private between you, me, and our 66 other viewers, okay?
Right now, SSG going for these fast, quick plays are getting shut down.
Relax and
Every single time.
chill.
It just feels like Karn & Co. are a lot more comfortable on this map. I mean, it's kind of ironic considering the fact that this is not their map pick. They just lost their map pick and the map they played the most.
W7M should bring Levy off their academy team and onto the main team in place of Dash or Dots. I do think Dash and Dots aren't good enough. I don't know if Levy is the answer, but I don't think that team ever wins a major with Dash and Dots on the team.
Right now, on this half, already up 3-0 on their first defensive half, and shutting down almost every single play and adaptation by SSG, just not able to do really anything. Only one round has been close, but it's just kind of like, what does SSG do in this case? Maybe this rehost could help, but we'll have to see.
And it feels like I'm glad
You think
that
every
they're
you think
starting
every
off
tier
on the
1 team should
attacking
have an
side. It's a
academy
conservative
team
frame of
or some branch of Tier 2, like how the MLB or NHL have minor league teams. It would be nice. The problem is, like, you just need to have that. League of Legends had that for a while. The problem is it requires a huge investment from the Tier 1 teams for, like, very little benefit. Like, the only reason professional sports are able to do that is because the stakes are so high and there's so much money on the line that you're willing to spend, like, an ungodly amount of money just to have that edge, to, like, have an academy team. But in esports, like, the scene's just not big enough for it, straight up.
Whereas this time, when they're walking in, it doesn't really feel like they know exactly what they're about to encounter, because there's no way to really know.
What's this massive investment? I mean, the biggest thing is, like, paying the players, right? I mean, you've also got to fit them out with, like, gear and shit. I guess the investment is less in Tier 2, in esports than it would be in traditional sports.
Kind of just making all the difference, right? SSGA, we're clearly well prepped for Clubhouse.
But, like, if you're going to be paying them,
their own map of Chalet, they probably just thought, well, this is the map we want to.
like, if you're going to get benefit out of your academy roster, you have to help them get better, right? That's what traditional sports do with their academy rosters. Not only are they paying the players, but they're also, like, giving them support in terms of, like, experienced coaches and staff and resources to improve as players. That's a big investment for an esports org. Paying 5 guys and giving, like, paying a good coach to, like, help them get better, or taking time out of your main coach's day to help that team get better is a pretty big investment for really no benefit other than just, like, being able to pick up a player who, frankly, is probably not as good as, like, a player you could just buy out from a different team anyways. I think that's probably a big part of it too. Yeah, and SSG don't get anything from their team. Like, what benefit does SSG have from having an academy team? There's none. But if you want to get benefit out of them, you have to pay some money. But I think that's, like, also a big part of it is, like, if you, like, let's say I'm SSG and I'm paying my academy roster a good salary, or at least a decent salary, right? And so I've made it so, like, SSG Academy are one of the better teams in Tier 2. Great. I decide, as SSG management, Forrest ain't cutting it. We gotta drop Forrest. We don't want to keep him on our team anymore. Am I really gonna go to my Academy team to replace Forrest? Probably not. Because I can probably pay LG or fucking Oxygen or WildCard or, like, some other Tier 1 team a better amount of money, or, like, a not crazy amount of money to get that player instead, which is going to be better in the long run.
Have started off really, really well, but now Space Station will get into their own defensive battles, and they'll maybe be able to,
like, the odds that the player you want to pick up is actually on your academy team, I feel, is very low.
Win a round or two, win some gunfights, and bring that confidence back to maybe make this map a little bit closer. Because even if this is won by SSGA and we don't get a 2-0,
it definitely would be big, just trolling. Like, it would be undoubtedly a good thing, but it's like having a third NAL stage would be a good thing. Having 8 majors a year instead of, like, 3 would be a good thing. But, like, all these things cost money, right? And it's always going to be a balance of, like,
and I want to see both of them go head to head.
Input versus what you get out of it. Okay, what are we doing here? Why are we? I thought this was a attack pause.
It is sitting at a 61.1.
Not sure who's playing on that spot, but there's also a player on the generator. This is certainly a death trap for Giddy. He walks in and he loses the fight, but it's actually Makers who gets the opener. The trade started to come in here, but with 10 seconds
money
left,
is the mistress of all. Yep.
Go over the plant. Packer will attempt it. Still trading are both teams. The diffuser will go down here as the coverage from Aerial Arise is not good. Mike W and Poison have to push up.
The percent of people that watch minor league baseball and MLB is higher than the percent of people that watch Tier 2 and Tier 1. Is that true?
And Mike W looks to go for the pickup here as the final 2 members from Makers have fallen.
I actually have no idea if that's true or not. It probably is. I mean, viewership, what's viewership for this game right now? Wait, Makers Aerial Rise being played on this game? Oh, wait, yeah, we wanted to watch the stream anyways.
So now back to a
I'm silly.
2 with the timer starting to expire. Poison swings, wins that fight, and leaves Bino all alone. Mike W has to cover here with the time expiring, but Bino's on the flank. He gets 1, gets 2. Poison shut down, and Bino starts things off with a 1 versus 2.
All right, this stream literally has 200 viewers. You're probably right. All right, shot a simple one. Who wins? I'm actually really excited to see who wins this game.
Complete control of both of the top floors. because of that,
Who
they're
wins
able to go
Clubhouse?
and work their way. Start working the vertical, get those hatches open.
I'll
get
give you
rid of
2
the
minutes, bet
defender
your channel
traits
points.
such as the Evil Eyes, waste those smokes early on, and really just work the site for an entire minute.
To be
before they
clear,
actually
if I
start
owned
aggressively.
SSG,
They
I would
actually
not
didn't
draw
start to
Forest.
put their players
Not
in
yet, at
positions
least.
to drop. They didn't start actually droning the positions of the defenders until around a minute 20 to 50 seconds left on the
Finish your
clock.
prep for your exam at
That
3 a.m.
gave
God
Makers
damn, one.
immense time to figure
I hope
out
you do well,
the
my
exact
friend.
positions. And then after that, their first attack was to get that
I
first
think
ball
this is
open.
Maker's
So
map
they were able to
map
push
pick,
all
by
the
the way.
players
I guess it's
inside
on the
church
screen.
back
I think
to
Makers
either
should win.
blue or
I think
B
Makers are the
bombs,
better
inside
team
Arsenal.
overall.
And on top
I
of
think
that, they were
Makers
able to
are
push
on their
pressure
map
early, get
pick.
rid of
I
that
think
player,
Makers should
and on
win.
top of that, destroy the Mira, cutting
Now, there
off
have been
that
people in
line of
chat
sight
saying
off
that
the
Aerial
chart.
Rise is the
It
best tier
gave
2 team
Makers
in
the
North
opportunity
America.
gap to get the
I would
ball
argue
down
Makers
over
are the best
by
tier 2
connecting
team in
and
North
drop.
America.
And that's why we
So
saw
today we
such
find
a
out.
definitive and very close and just honestly just clutching out those players, pushing them back and making sure the players
If
on
they
their
were to
left
drop player,
had
you drop
no
Forest? Sure.
room to move.
We go to round 2 with Makers right now, already back on the board. Snake looking to roam. Usually we see him roaming with the boss G, although he knows that he needs to be a little bit more careful and a little bit more potent.
Top
in
3
some of these
players in the
early
lobby?
engagements. Everything worth
Fuck, I don't
noting
even
here.
know.
With Snake, often what seems to be a solo roam down below.
Kobe Locks
Flash
for
might not be
sure.
quite as effective because there's not as many bodies to play
Then,
off of
I
that
don't know,
shield
man.
as Poison starts to hold some of these forward positions. And with the softer upstairs presence right now, with those roamers up above, it's going to enable Makers to start to take some of this control early.
And this is exactly what we saw in the very first round. Just the overall play style of Makers is they put so much focus on doing their basics, getting the
Maybe
walls open,
Kobe
getting that
lacks
map control
Packer
early
and, like,
on. There's very in between rounds where Makers hit the site without getting the walls, without getting all
Snake?
that intel, map control support.
I don't know.
So they have everything in their favor when they hit the site.
Kobe Snake
Aerial
Packer.
Rise playing a little bit back, but they do have a player over by Clash being backed up by Poison on the Clash. So they're still in a position to deny time. And for right now, Makers, they don't have a solution for it.
Kobe, Brios, and Snake. I was thinking about saying
Well, the solution
Brios.
seems to be, let's just try and make sure we don't get flanked and maybe start to take some early control. They're a little bit behind right now in terms of their time management.
Yeah,
They
it's not
haven't really
Poison and
cleared out
Mike.
Cash yet, and they're allowing Poison to persist. Not only that, but Snake is still down below, just ready and waiting to hit a late flank if it does come. Here comes Brios as well, walking back up red stairs. They're pushing in on him, and they will, in fact, get the
This
first
isn't
kill
really
on him.
grassroots,
Speedy will
TARDIS.
shut
This
him
is
down
funded by
first.
Ubisoft,
Snake
but
as well, look to flank.
I get what
They
you
will
mean.
lose Moose
Viewership is
Moses
better
in
when
the
you
process,
include
and will
co-streams. You're
actually
totally right.
claim Kobe Lax's life. So now 4 versus 4 with just about a minute.
Packers
Comes
bottom
run in
3? You
as
really
Packer
think
just
so?
Runs in, misses Poison, but will start to eat some damage in the process. They've
I don't know about that
isolated
one.
the Clash here, but they don't have any way to kill him actually outright. Mike W eats some damage as well. Everybody from Aerial Arise just getting chipped away at, but still just holding strong in their positions. Bino will lose or win a fight rather. Packer wins
Poison
another
is
one.
definitely bottom
Now
3.
4
What the
versus 2
fuck
with just
was
about
that?
50 seconds left. This
I'm
seems to be a
sorry,
dire
what?
spot for Aerial.
Why?
Yep, simply
Like,
just
maybe if he has some
working
teammates
too much
around him,
on
but
that
what is he
road,
doing
not
just
really
playing inside a
understanding the
cache, bro?
timing and when they needed
On
to
the
fall back,
Clash!
overstaying their welcome, and that essentially enabled Makers to just completely choke out and isolate a 5v1 in every single engagement. And in part, it was to the players on the side of Aerial Arise initiating it also.
Here comes the walk-in potentially from Packer here. He'll just go for broke, swing right in, lighting up the wall inside of Logi. Will actually down Snake through the
Just
wall.
yank
Now
things.
Giddy
Just yank
will
things.
actually get the confirm on that kill. Bino as well will get credited with that eventual down. And once again, Makers with another attacking round here. Aerial Arise not really awake in these first 2.
I talked about just
Snake
Monday,
might be an idiot.
Makers play this exact same map, having what many would consider not necessarily a bad attacking percentage win rate wise, but below average. And they also identified that. Not only taking themselves to Clubhouse, but realizing that they were going to have to go on that attack first. And if we see in these past couple of rounds, they've done their homework. They've understand their own mistakes, but they also have read. They've bot reviewed on Aerial Rise. They've seen their playstyle, even with the lack of play
Mute
base
Mozzie
on
Vigil,
Clubhouse.
what
Keep in
the
mind, Aerial
fuck?
Rise has banned Clubhouse in every single phase.
Is it
2 match
2019?
they've had, not playing it once. but it doesn't matter for Makers. And
Bino
then
certainly
we'll have
thinks it
reconnect.
is.
Most likely will
He says,
have
I'm fucking
a,
done with this shit, and he goes.
Reconnect, I don't believe we'll be playing a 4v5, and there it is. So we'll be going to
I'm shocked they didn't do what Upper Decky did and just play the 4v5 round anyways.
Where Makers, they're dialed in, they're locked in, and it's actually on.
Is this game still in a tech pause after going up 3-0?
Makers, they're in a position to completely run away with this map. I understand it's only 2 rounds in, but it's so definitive. Makers are meeting Aerial Rise at every single entry point and just outclassing them in every single point of the map. 2019
was PCAR6 changed my mind.
That's another thing I noticed.
I mean, numbers-wise, 2020 was PCAR6.
They had those great early rounds where they were getting control.
2020 was our best
But
player count by far.
Sloppy here and
COVID
there.
was really, really good for
But
R6,
so
to be
far,
honest with
these
you.
first two,
It's good
we've
for
seen them
esports as a whole,
continue to have
and
those great
gaming,
early
and Twitch.
rounds. We've also seen them translate that into late round success.
Yeah, Upper Decky were on like a 9-map win streak, 9-0 across 2 maps, not map round. Upper Decky were up like 9-0 across 2 maps when they played their 4v5 round, so. Feeling is a player and not numbers. What was the meta in 2019? Wasn't that utility dump meta when we had like fucking 1,000 shields and like it took like 2 minutes for anything to happen?
Yeah,
every
agree
single
with you.
round.
We saw in that very first round that it simply was because they pushed so many players back. Well, yeah.
Chat, what do you
too
think the
much longer
best
because
meta
we
in
will be
R6
going-
history was?
Just a quick break as we get everyone back into lobby. We'll be back shortly. Don't go anywhere far.
I actually think the best meta in R6 was probably like maybe right before Azami came out. I thought 2019 was, yeah, when Goyo shields were everywhere. LMG meta was the best meta. When a Rooney dropped? Oh, perfect timing. Actually, clutch timing.
Very hard on this map so far. The Carnico don't really have a lot to clear necessarily as far as like map pressure goes, but there's definitely
Nobody knew how to play the
plenty of
game in year
utility
1.
they need to work.
I wish I could play year 1 Siege, man.
Kind of
I never got to
disappointing,
experience
right,
that.
for
I
the fans of
didn't know
Space
Siege was a
Station
game back
Academy,
in year
'cause I feel
1.
like we talked so much last map about how important it is for them to make Arn & Co. uncomfortable. Right? It felt like that was their whole game plan last map. Or at least
Before they
everything
nerfed
centered around
nades,
it. It wasn't
true.
just one thing. But the core value at the center of the game plan was how can we make Arn & Co. a little bit uncomfortable? But a lack of an extension is kind
22nd
of
meta
what
was
Arn & Co.
sometime
feel most
after
comfortable
SI 2020.
walking into. This is a nice little office setup, though. I can't lie.
Yeah.
They've got double reinforcement on the walls into Master.
I thought it was
They've got a
before.
player in office, perhaps trying to help with a dining side extension, although nobody really over there.
Yeah, there's been a lot of
It's
different
more
tech
so
issues
just
across the 2
a further
streams.
extension upstairs. It looks like Carnico are starting to notice this, and I think they might try and hit it from behind. Oh no, but Spiff has given away where he is by shooting some teammates' Flores drone, but that doesn't mean he's not willing to go. And I don't think they've heard this. Walking all the way up blue stairs, and he's now towards Ivy. Gap inside is very much taken advantage of.
I think you
He's
guys are just
wary
DZ
someone's
fans.
In office, though. He's actually just stared at
Everyone's
him.
saying
Oh, no,
LMG meta
he's
was the best
actually
meta.
through the
You just
wall,
liked
and
watching
Baze made
DZ
his
win a
way forward
major.
to get that kill. They're ready for the swing, but they're not ready enough to kill him. And now Baze got 2 in a row. Big swing in from box into library. Hasn't quite gone well for SSGA. And so now things start to settle down. As Fens will creep up on Mezzanine and try to catch them off guard, but he's been swung on by Bay as well. And Karn & Co. try to take the gap into the site and use it to get to the 2nd floor. There's
G2
just
versus
so many
Empire was
players up
22nd
there
meta.
for SSGA.
I mean, we already
Was
talked
Goyo
about
out
it.
for
They were
G2
so
versus
tight to get
Empire?
upstairs, and
I
even
feel like
in
he
the
wasn't,
fight
but
itself,
like
so
you
Carnico
probably would
think
know
they
better than I
spotted
would.
gap, but there's just nobody at top. Okay, stairs. There's just nobody contest them, and the fact that Bay still uncontested in that small extension over towards office completely just shuts down any attempt to push down
Quick
Case
check.
hallway into
SI
Mezzanine,
2019.
and then through into library.
Quick VOD
SSG
check.
Academy didn't really have
What
to
are we
work that
playing?
hard to continue to fight back in that round.
We're
Carnico
playing
think
Smoke,
they have
Valk.
something,
Okay,
but
we're
then
playing
the
Coastline.
fact
That's
that
not
they
really
just
fair.
try to go for a very quick play,
The odds didn't fucking change. Smoke,
Smoke,
Castle, Valk. I don't think Goyo's out yet at this point.
Where is everybody? Everybody is here. I know they're there, but I don't
No,
know
this
where
is definitely
exactly
before
they're
the
at. So
22nd
it just
meta.
kind of looks a little lost in that case, and so Carnico just kind of flounder in their very first attacking round.
So, exactly what SSGA needed to start to get on the board, their very first round of Chalet thus far, and perhaps we can start to see why they picked into it. Clearly, they've got the strats cooked. I mean, I love whatever that was with the office extension set up the way that it was. But even still, with that extension going well, you've got other sites you need to defend, so one good strat does not a good map make, so to say. Now SSGA will move to kitchen and dining to see if there's
Ignore the Matt Andrews in the background.
on that site is good enough
Yeah, all
to
right.
get them through it.
You're
Not
right.
too
You're
much
right.
hard
You're
breach
right.
on the side of Karn and Co. Actually, none at all. No hard breach gadgets, no hard breach operators, none of that. Walking into a site where, at least if you want to attack it from dining, you probably need to get the dining wall open. And they only really have one hard breacher, that is the Sledge of Asia.
Who's the best chance
So
of winning
it
Montreal?
feels like you've limited yourself in terms of what the
Way
lineup
too early
as
to
a
say.
whole is able to do.
My
It's
my
very
sleeper
much
pick
focused
winning
on that
Montreal,
suicide take,
Liquid.
right? That's kind of really their only option, realistically, because like you said, they can't go in through Fireplace, open up that dining wall. It's kind of full focus on this top floor take.
Favorite major
making
or
sure
SI
they
finals?
background
I mean, it was
get
just
Asia
Brazil
into a
SI.
position where you can open up that floor.
Sao
SSG
Paulo
can
SI
win.
was just the
All
best
they really
finals
need
I've
to
ever
do is just
experienced.
repel this upstairs take, make sure they can hold on to it, this, or at least stall out for as long as they can. Make sure that Karn Co don't have anything to work with.
Well, they definitely don't have fens to work with. Is that opening kill will work out quite well in their own favor. Now the Lion down, now the Sledge down too, and Karn and Co are just kind of walking isolated team members towards this extension. Yes, they are able to repel in and somehow get that kill on a Jabates, but Jack Khan has traded it with the C4, and so it's still a two-player advantage, perhaps even worse off than they were just before on the side of Karn and Co, as they only have two. The other team has four, make it they only have one. It's just Carnage himself. And we've seen him do wonderful things in the clutch. But this would perhaps be the greatest achievement individually, that is, that he's experienced maybe ever. You know, he's got the case on him, so that's at least an opportunity, but holes being opened.
Guys are saying this would have to be
all around
Karn's
him from
greatest clutch of
upstairs
his
to make sure he
career.
can't stick it down, and bang,
I don't
not
know
even-
about that, but
Separate
we
goals
don't
would
have
be
to poise the
five.
question. We'll go back to the game we're actually watching here.
Of what you want to do on defense, but that was a perfect two first
What
rounds
tier
of
2
attack
team
from
has the
Makers,
best
and
chance
they
of
go on
winning
to
Element
potentially get
3?
a 3-0
I would say
start.
Makers.
If they do get this third round right here onto the basement, that's the point when you should start to worry for Aerial Rise, and when I theorize that they could potentially take their time out, because we talked about how this is such a
All right, we're
strong
finally back in the
map
game.
for
It's been a
Makers,
minute.
And honestly, if we're looking at everything,
Mute
from
Monzi
both
Vigil
statistics
like
and
it's
the previous
2020,
matchups,
as
this
I've
is
been
their
saying.
map to lose.
Well, initially, like we saw in round number 1, Makers will start things off on the top floor, just going for that full top-down clear. Although the only difference, like you mentioned in this round, is that there are players from Aerial Arise up here and ready to greet them. Mike W is up here, and I believe we saw Snake lurking around. Yeah, he's over by Bar right now, so he's not quite on the top floor, but he is upstairs to cause a little bit of a nuisance. Now, Boost is starting to walk his way in towards construction. There was that player that he's going to have to worry about over inside.
Makers are against a Mute Monzi Vigil setup. They didn't bring Deimos. They didn't bring Jackal. They didn't bring Doka. Doka's banned. They brought 0 ops to actually help with the roam clear. This is going to be tough.
The players
I don't know if they win
on
this round.
outside of
Like, they have no
Aerial
idea
Rise
Mike
fall
is here.
back. Well, not Mike
They
W,
actually just did not
probably
read this
the
defense
user
right at all.
playing
Their
the
op lineup is
most
bad. What they're doing is
unorthodox
bad.
or unorthodox player in the entire T2 scene.
Now they're like desperately trying to roam clear these guys, but they have
He still
zero
hasn't
intel,
fallen off,
dude.
being backed up by
No
defense.
idea what's
And
going
again,
on.
Aerial Rise, they've striking back. They realized their mistakes in the very first round. And they
I don't think
continue
that
to
the
strike
tech
back
pause helped
again.
out Makers in any way.
Everything going
I feel like
Aerial
Makers
Rise's
kind of
way
forgot what
right
was going
now.
on in this round in the
seems
tech
to be the
pause.
right play for them. It's a challenge, Makers, on these top 2 floors. Do not give them any.
And then when they got back into it, maybe they just didn't drone enough. They didn't like really recognize what was going on.
This team, if you give them an inch,
Because I don't think this, oh
oh
yes, this is the answer. We hot drop Moto, ready to rock and roll. They split up.
But they're looking in
Agoyo immediately gets popped and they have to stall. Giddy's on the board.
Detonated rather, and will halt Boost's advance in towards the site. Now Mike W will fall to
Giddy is
maybe
doubly
settle
on the
for Giddy,
board.
Yes, indeed. As now suddenly this seems to be almost winnable, as Giddy has lost most of his HP, but still.
This is not winnable.
with
They're
that
both
gun
stuck
on
inside a
front, it's gonna be
Moto.
very potent in any potential gunfight that he
I do
goes
think
into.
Aerial Rise play this
Church
like
Hall
normal
will get
human
opened up
beings
by
and they don't
Boost to give
lose.
themselves another line of sight in towards Church. They need to walk in soon, and they need to start winning more of these fights because the time is starting to dwindle here. Some of these Capital Colts will go out here. It's back players up from
Super out kind of clutch here too.
as Giddy goes for the walk-in.
I mean,
Goes
they're
for
playing it
as
right.
well. They're just gonna try
Pushing
and go for
together,
this plan.
planting
Giddy has
on
a lot of
Ashwall.
work to do with his coverage.
Oh,
Knows his
Giddy!
player Blue. He gets that one his third,
try.
but no more than that. Snake walks up and claims that kill. Woos now left alone on 3 HP.
Wait,
Has a
actually
lot
in a
of
good
work to be
spot.
done in this post plan.
Nah.
Definitely not unwinnable,
nah.
but it is actually unwinnable. As I cursed him
They
into
should have
the early
rushed
grave.
site. I think they
Unwinnable
tried
for
to
the
rush
final
site, but they
kill
got
of
hit
that
by a
round.
Goyo canister and they
Aerial
decided
Rise are on
against
the
it.
board.
Talk a mood killer if Aerial Arise lost it, but on their final defensive round, they squeaked.
That was a good try. That was a good try.
Just one.
Kind of cucked
round,
from the
which
beginning,
is
unfortunately.
Not only not what they planned, but
Close
statistically
throw for sure.
Not exactly what you see a whole lot. We do see a lot more 2-1 quarters, and because of that, Aerial Arise in the very first round, playing not aggressive enough, giving too much respect on that map control and that roam gameplay in the early rounds, and then translating in the second round, getting too over-aggressive, overstaying their welcome on that roam. But on the third round, they found the perfect balance, and going back onto that basement bomb site, they really said,
How high of a chance do Fury have of winning another event? Pretty high.
Makers at every single entry point. We don't
Like, they're going to be the favorites for sure, or at least one of the favorites for every event until they have like a serious poor performance.
Wasn't expecting not only that much of a roam presence, but that heavy of a roam.
I think Clubhouse is a bad map.
Of stay from
Why?
those roam players, and that is exactly why we find ourselves at that 2-1 scoreline.
I have to wonder if Aerial Arise will read into the fact that makers seem to want to go for a heavy roam here. They seem to be doing that old style.
I kind of like
SSG
Clubhouse.
roam where you have
I think it
more
offers a lot of
players
little
on
like
the board,
util
a
puzzles.
player in bar with
I
some
think
castle
Rafters
barricades
is a
to
really fun
provide a
area
little bit of
of
safety
the
towards
map.
any roamers.
I think
Because
Jacuzzi
like
Walls
you
are a really
mentioned,
fun area of the
makers
map.
didn't look like they fully expected
I like the
Aerial Arise
basement
to
bomb
do that
site
roam.
because you can
Last
play
round,
it in
though,
two
again,
different
like
ways
you
and it almost
mentioned
feels
as
like two
well,
completely
Aerial
different
Arise
bomb
are
sites.
far more solo and far more unpredictable when it comes to their roam.
I wish Bar
We'll
Stage
just
was
see
better,
how the two
but
different styles clash
can't have
here
it
in
all.
the early round. Initially, it doesn't seem like makers are dedicating too much support or too many operators up above. Maybe just kind of just setting up some extra obstacles for Aerial Arise to clear out. Maybe fall back a little bit earlier.
Clubhouse not
on.
PL level is so
Just
bad.
Seems to be the overall play for makers here. They're playing
Sure.
it pretty passively.
I really love the overall defensive setup, especially starting in that bar with those castle barricades. We saw a castle on this exact same site from Aerial Rise, but this time around, castle barricading off
Where are
the
the mirror
double
windows?
door. On top of that, the other double door by main entry point. It's really a defensive setup that is meant to disconnect sections of the map. If you even go down to the basement with that mirror, with the rotate, and having the two left walls on blue wall reinforced, every single wall, every single setup on this defense is meant to completely make the map.
Seattle or San Diego?
Punish
I've never been to
defense
Seattle,
for
but I
disconnecting
love
sections
San
and
Diego,
putting
so
themselves
San
in
Diego.
isolated positions.
I
Speaking
assume
of
this is a
isolated,
baseball
Packer
question, but I don't
isolates
care.
Brios into the very first pick for this round.
Packers still looking to challenge, so I mentioned passivity, but that doesn't seem to be the case as Giddy gets yet another kill for makers. Another one seemingly fallen as Inrio will be claimed from down below by Kopilax. And now it seems to be an exact opposite of the round we just saw, where now it's a 5 versus 2, this time in favor of makers on the defense. They have no control to Aerial Arise, and Mike W might just go for broke down the same hatch that both Giddy and Woos did last time. Poison as well, separated from his
Aerial
fellow
playing
teammate.
so bad. I
But
mean,
Doom on his way in to give up the game after where he's at. Giddy looks to claim that kill and gets the swing on it. Gets that kill indeed.
I think they're
Now Mike W
playing.
all alone to stay
I
off
think
a
they're playing.
flawless round.
I think they're
Packers
playing how I'd
swings
expect
from
them to
main
play.
stairs. And indeed,
This
it
is
will be
Maker's map
flawless
pick.
for Makers as they're now up 3-1.
I'd be surprised if Makers lost this map.
Again, the exact game plan of just
Makers got a really good attacking split. Now they start with their first defense. You expect them to win that.
Disconnecting those entry points around
Aerial Rise
the map
kind of having the
is
same problem with
exactly
Makers, where
what
like this
led
roam
them
comes
to
out on the
success.
bottom
If you
floor,
look
and
at
they just
every
like don't know
single
how to
round,
address
it
it.
was
They like
either a 2v1 or a
seem to
1v1
not realize
engagement
what it is going
towards
into it,
Aerial
and
Rise.
then
Sure,
they
that
struggle to
was
have
in
intel.
a
They struggle
lot
to
of
win their fights.
cases because Aerial Rise sent their entry players into solo.
They do both
That's what
refuse to bring
we see
Deimos
from
Jackal,
W
something like
and
that.
From Snake. On top of that, they are players that like to roam. They like to get that really lurk gameplay, and they, because of that, are in a lot of times in isolated positions. But that was in the game plan of Makers, and because of that, Aerial Rise essentially played right into the gameplay style of Makers.
We go to Jim here for Makers.
Yeah, or a Lion.
defense,
Lion
and
would
that
work too.
Castle seems to be a very prominent theme from them, and for very good reason, I would have to think. Castle, of course, can provide so much safety, especially if Woos decides he wants to potentially
All
ban a trick
right,
to
gym
do the all, or
bedroom.
maybe even bathroom. Just, there's a lot of different options
Probably
for you if
default
you wanna
mirrors
go for the
here.
bandit trick.
First
That
one's looking
castle,
from
like I mentioned,
Logi
can provide safety
into
from
Master. The
highway
second one probably
windows.
goes
Not
on
only that, you
the
can also
bathroom
provide
wall.
yourself some safety from Logi if you want to play on that other mirror window that's currently located inside a gold vault. There's just so much flexibility with this defensive lineup. But right now,
Deimos and
flexible
Lion
options
get
seem to
destroyed
be
by Mute or
dedicated
Vigil.
over towards the cache and CCTV side of the map. They've got multiple operators over there. They've got a shield to, I believe.
Sure, but at
top
least force them
they're
to
gonna
run
use
it.
that likely to just stall an initial push in from the platform wall. And overall, it's just a very well balanced defense from Makers.
They probably don't want to run Vigil anyways,
Brios
and
is
Mute
getting
they have
so
to stay
aggressive
still
early
by the
on.
Mute
This is
Jammer.
exactly what Aerial Rise need to push the tempo. They need to make sure they have complete control of how fast not only this round goes, but the rest of this series. The previous rounds, every
Jim and
time
CC are always
they
played the
started,
same.
Makers were in
I
the
mean,
driver's seat, and that's why
Jim
Aerial
and
Rise were
CC
never able to really
defensively
get
are
that
played
foot
pretty
ahead of
similar.
them.
I wouldn't say they're
Right
always
now,
played the same. You have the
Aerial
choice
Rise
on
kind
Gym
of
Bedroom
stuck.
whether you want to
They
extend
took
cash
so
or
much
not.
map control over
Most
the
teams
Rise,
extend
but
cash,
realized
but I don't
that
think it's
every
wrong
presence
to not
of
extend
the
cash.
players of Aerial
If you have a
Rise, or
strong
the
bottom
players
s-
of Makers, but on top
What
of
the
that,
fuck
the
are we
players'
doing, Giddy?
defensive utility, but
If you have a
Giddy
strong
over
bottom floor
Swings
hold,
was
I don't think it's
punishing
bad to not
avoided the
hold
very first pick in this
not
round.
hold cash. Also, the extent to which you hold cash.
Yeah, that's a
Are you
huge
hard
loss
holding it with your
for
life? Are you
Makers.
just
If you lose
sticking
that
here for a
one,
little
which
bit
is
and then
likely one
falling
of the
back?
big things that you
Can
would use
differ
to
quite a
stop
bit.
Mike W. Not only that, but that also gives top red
CC is
control
usually pretty
over to
similar
the
for
attack.
sure,
With
but
about
again,
half
you
the
always
round
get the
to go,
question, do you
they
want to
needed
extend
that
Master?
control very early on,
Usually
actually
teams
somewhat
don't
from
really,
Makers
but sometimes they
retaking
do.
that spot. So it's still a challenge to try.
All right,
and play
this
around
cash
for a little
extension is
bit
going
longer, and Packer
horribly, bro.
overstays his welcome, gets a little bit
What's
too
going on
aggressive,
here?
and is read by Mike W. Another one for him.
Giddy through
Now
this
it's a
round. I don't know what to
5
tell
versus
you.
2 in favor of Aerial
Giddy through this
Rise.
round.
They've got
Packer
full
lost a
cache and
fight.
CCTV control to work with.
And then Woos just tried to fucking make a
A
play because he
great
had to, because he was
first
down 3-5.
Opening half for Aerial Rise over in this CC in cash.
Extending Master is not a
putting
death wish.
all of their utility, all of their bodies on this one position.
Did
making
Cruelty win
sure
5
they
rounds?
get this one
They did
side of
not.
The map clear, not only putting 2 to 3
I'm
players,
sorry
but
to
all of their
say.
cards in it, and because of that, they were able to clear that such heavy defender utility side and set up from Makers over by CC and Cash.
I don't
And
think you
now
will 100% die
it
without
is
getting one
all
against a good
up
team.
to
I think that's
Vino
definitely
and
wrong.
Kobe in a 2v5 with
Against a
only
good team,
30
you
seconds
start
left on the
Master.
clock.
If they're not going to push
Relax,
con
he's
and
just
clear
trying
you,
to play around
then
this
you
bathroom
can
spot and
jump around. You
just
can
keep
play
himself
around the
on
windows,
move
play
so that
aggressive with spawn
Aerial
peeks if
Rise
you have
can't
to.
read his position and quickly claim
Jump
his
out, play
line.
aggro,
Flash
go for
grenades will
flanks,
start to
lounge
rain
late.
from Aerial
And if they
to
do
try
push
and set up
con,
the execute, and Candelo's
then you
will
just
join
fall
there as
back
well.
to,
Snake
if
looks
they
to
do push
swing in as
Master,
the
then you
vault
fall back
in
to construction.
from Jim is
Drop the
ready to
hatch,
greet
now
it.
you're playing
Nobody from
below.
Makers is ready to greet
Spoit
that.
does it every now and again.
Everything going Aerial's way as nobody from Makers can find a response on that quick aggressive take. Aerial Rise finally respond with a round.
How
of
many
their own.
rounds do Cruelty get in Saudi? They're going to play a best
That
of 1, they're
round
going to
can be
lose it.
simply
And they're going to
defined
play a
as
best of 3, they're going to lose that
complete
one too. So they're going to play
tempo
3
shift.
maps.
In the previous rounds, Makers were always the team
They're going to
that were
average,
the aggressive team, and it succeeded. That time around, though,
say 3 rounds a
because
map.
they
So
were
let's say
so
they win 9
aggressive,
rounds. I'll say
Aerial
9.
Rise was ready for it. They were expecting it, and they checked every single player that overswung. Those first two
Drone drop
engagements
Logi,
that
get someone on
Makers
con window,
lost
you're stopped. As
were
soon as you're
two
droned though,
gunfights
you're
that
getting out
singular
through con.
Makers players took that weren't even really necessary.
If you have
didn't
somebody on
need
the
that
con
word
window,
on
you're getting
top
swung
line
from
to
sight and
swing
murdered.
breach. There was at least
Because you're
3
doing
to
this
4
before you're
players
getting the
looking
plat
at
wall
him.
open.
He had no
So people
intel
can
based
swing that wall
on it.
easy peasy.
He was simply
You have no
trying to
pressure
get a
garage,
cheeky play,
because this is the
trying to
first thing
get
you're doing.
trying to
If it's not the
surprise
first thing you're
Aerial
doing, then that
Rise,
guy's already
but
out.
because we're so far into the game, because Aerial Rise is such a structured team and they were locked in and they were ready for it, it was simply an aggression check.
Also, you run down Master at that point. Or not Master, you run down main. Or you drop the gym hatch.
I wonder if
You have like
Makers will
100 escape
continue
routes from
with some
roaming
of this
Master.
aggression that we've seen from them.
I mean, you have 4.
Because that's not really.
That's a lot of
who
fucking
they
escape
are,
routes.
Not necessarily as a team. I mean, sure, they're fairly aggressive in their own right, but it's more.
There isn't a point to be
like
there.
team-based and
No, there
time-based
absolutely
rather
is,
than that
because
straight
you're applying
raw
late
aggression
pressure
that
for
we
a
see from
flank.
Aerial Rise with
The
players
site
like
in
Poison
CCTV
and
cache
Mike
is
W.
not big enough for
Poison,
5
rather.
people, right?
Snake and Mike W. Makers and their last
So you're gonna have
game
like, let's say
against
one
Squad
guy in Cash. You're gonna have one guy like Rafters. You're gonna have one guy like in CC playing around the breach. Maybe one guy red. At least one guy who's basically roaming around Master / playing the bottom floor.
And then this round, hope
Like,
that
here's
changes.
what-
They go
like, look at
back
this
to
round
their
right here,
roots
right?
of playing more
Giddy's on the
tribal
wall,
coordination.
Woos is in garage,
Right now,
and
it's not
fucking
gonna work out
Packers
really well
extending
in
in a
their favor
master. It's
because
happening
of the
right
that
now
Aerial Rise
as we
has brought now
speak.
to really efficiently clear out some of these spots and really efficiently help with some of this hard breach.
Going to be relatively a slow round, a slow start for Aerial Rise, making sure with this wall early on. But the problem for this main wall is going to be.
And so
that
Packer,
mirror.
he's
This
starting
is
over the
if
master
So
side,
does
right?
choose to try
Once
to
this
open
wall
walls
gets
with
opened,
some
Aerial Rise
charge.
will
Mirror can simply
decide
pop
and
in
make
base,
clear
but
if they're going to
they've
push
already
rafters
covered
or if they're going to
that
push for
problem.
construction.
But there's still
Based
so
on their
much
op
to
lineup,
do.
it's likely they're going to push
Bandit
rafters.
charges, the players
And
over
so
in
Packer
garage,
will
you still
likely
have to
fall
keep that
down the main
control, and on
stairs
top
as
of
he
that,
currently
work
is,
the
I think,
vertical.
right
It's
now.
taken half the round
Tough to
just
say.
get this
Oh, they
single
actually are going to
wall.
open the jacuzzi wall as well.
Actually, that
Interesting. Regardless,
While
Packers in an
Fury is
easy spot to
open,
fall
that's not
off.
the easiest of breaches to get
And
in
his
from.
value
Don't
in the
really
round is
wanna
going to be
vault
playing
in
bottom
from
floor
that
with a
main
C4.
platform
Or he
breach,
could
'cause
return to
that's
site if he
certainly
chooses to.
gonna spell disaster for you from a player at top of red stairs if makers are still persistent there if Aerial Rise don't clear that
Playing
spot.
below is playing
With
master.
just under half
They're the same
round to go,
position.
with the platform wall being opened up, Aerial Rise could start to
'Cause you have
rotate their
legs.
focus with the
You
Capitão.
start master to play
Forcing
aggressive,
this
shoot some
player out of the
drones,
garage. That's
maybe
really
a
the
spawn
next big
peek,
step that they
and then
need
you
to
go
clear
below.
out, 'cause if they don't, they won't be able to go for the plant.
You're never dying in master.
There might just
Okay,
be
Packers
doing
dying in
so
master.
much, but it's actually going to do the most.
Fucker's ruining
First
my
entry
point.
pick. That is a huge opening for Aerial Rise. This is
Good
a
timing.
gap. They've started to push the pressure, but the problem is they still have to deal with Woos. They can't go in through the breach. He's going to be able to stop any player trying to get that quick plant down. But the problem is, he's such a hardened position. They're going to try to flame him out, but he's a dock.
We've been
He's
seeing
going
this
to
dock
waste
rafters,
time,
bro,
waste
and I'm
health.
just not a
Eventually, he
fucking
is
fan.
done.
I said this yesterday.
Relax claims
So many
taken the
teams in
process. Another one for
2024,
Giddy as we're
especially
down
in
to
like these tier 2 NA
3v3 with
teams,
just under
are trying to
30
run
seconds
dock
go.
rafters
Force will start
instead
to
of a
ascend the
Wamai,
stairs
and I just think
and
it's
take
so
up some
much
space that
worse.
his teammate vacated.
It actually makes me so annoyed seeing Doc get played rafters instead of Wamai. Because multiple tier 2 teams have done it now in this tournament. And I just don't think it's good. I would so rather have a Wamai every single time. It's not like Wamai's getting banned.
Actually will be a kill for Brios, but now he's all alone as he's lost his support. He's gonna have to go for the pickup here.
Genuinely
and try to
baffled how
plant
makers
down.
are winning this
Poison will
round.
have to cover with no time to spare and no options left. A C4 burned, and the time will expire as there's no plant, and makers will claim the first half for their own.
Wamai and Doc?
A
Feels like a lot.
amazing first half for makers.
You could do it though.
Checking every single aggressive.
Doc has to play on the window and rafters.
That attack and giving
The
them
window's
so
just
many
such a shit
problems
spot to
deal
play
with,
though, because as soon as
especially
they
that
open
main
the
wall. Took
garage
them
breach,
a
you have to
minute and
move.
30 seconds from the drone phase to actually get
Dark
it
Zero
open.
did it in
Paired
EWC
with
quals.
That bandit paired with the Mira, it simply was just
Fair.
what honestly looked like a cluster in the comms from Aerial Arise, but this halftime
A zombie Doc?
gave them time to
Yeah,
really
zombie's always
give them
banned though.
time to really calm down, because it does look like they were feeling the pressure from makers.
Play Talk and
Every
Stay
single
Alive.
round,
Eh.
Every single instance that they met each other, whether it was trying to take map control,
And they just
whether
hold
it
you
was
forever and they
engagement,
eventually push
it
up.
really looked like
Or they just
Aerial
nade you.
Rise was just really feeling
I guess the
pressure,
point
really
about Doc is they
feeling
nade you and you stay
all the
alive.
calm from the storm of makers making sure that every engagement, every time that Aerial Rise tried to take a point of the map, they met either defender utility or
If you're on the window,
defenders
like,
on top of it.
you're just super fucked once the garage wall opens. They just get such a strong angle on you.
Blitz or shield play overall from Aerial Rise. Sure, we saw one round where Poison played Clash, and that didn't go too well for them, mostly due to the fact that they let Poison play, I think, in my opinion, a little bit too solo. So maybe if they
A zombie Wamai I think is better because you can just use the magnets to draw like nades and or like ash charges and shit away from the Kiba barriers too, which is nice.
Overall, this is a great site for Clash. You can use the Clash in so many different ways to deny from maybe Garage, over on the Master side as well. There's a lot of different options. But also when we get back on the attack eventually, maybe we see them start to bring out some Blitz as well, because we've seen that teams like to play Blitz, and with how proficient Poison is with shields,
Game 3
I
SSG
definitely think
Karn.
that might be an option.
Karn takes those.
I agree 100%, and I think that is
Poison's back on the
definitely
fucking
a
Clash,
problem
bro.
for
I don't
Aerial
believe in
Rise,
Poison's
because
Clash.
they're meeting
Last time
makers
Poison
in
played
the
Clash
offside
defending Gym
stage,
Bedroom,
with
extending
so
Cash.
much
Now he's
defending
playing it
utility
defending
back
CCTV
of
Cash,
these
extending...
defenders
I don't think he's
playing
actually
those
extending
positions.
Master. I think he was just
But
hiding.
doesn't matter, at least for now, because it's going to be Aerial Rise on the defense. And I really love, just honestly, the mix of operators we have. We have the smoke simply just to deny that time, deny the space being taken. The Doc simply to support his teammates' playing inside of the Raptors position. And then we have Poison.
The second person
Again,
rafters, like,
playing
on the
that
window,
clutch,
to me just
like
doesn't
Smoke, is
feel
in a position
worthwhile.
to deny that space. He's going to be playing in Raptors.
Feels like
and
too
we
tough
see
of a
more
position.
this Clash
You just get
play
shit on most of the
a
time.
map like Nighthaven, which is similar in many
People
ways,
do it every
especially
now and
on
again,
this
but I
Raptors
find it
position.
doesn't work
Again,
more often than it
Snake
does.
bringing out the new recruit rework with those charges, and on top of that, a C4.
Well, Makers
essentially
won their
just
first half. They
make
now
utility
honestly
with
can
shotgun on
kind
top
of do
it.
whatever in
So
this second
Ariel
quarter.
Wise in this round just
They're
making sure
planning
they
to
have the
dominate in the
ability
final
to
quarter of the
make sure
game.
they can cover every
Quarter
surface,
3,
make sure they can open
if they get
every
one
single
attack,
part
they're
of
feeling
the site,
fine.
give
If they
them
get 2
as
attacks,
many
they're
options as
laughing.
possible to defend.
Yeah, they
If they get 0, they're still not in a bad spot, to be honest.
You've got a bulletproof camera that can feed information. And really, even those proximity alarms as well that you mentioned, Snake's bringing. Hang on a second, Kobe Lax just vaulted right in. There's a player down below in garage.
Poison! Stop trying to make the Clash work. There's a dog shit map for Clash. Stop trying to make it work, I'm begging you.
Good measure. Snake will have to try and retake. Mike W's trying to hold down the fort until he gets back. They will get 2 kills. Right back in their favor, but Bino's now getting the plant down.
Clash is just so bad on this map,
to
bro.
claim Snake's life, and now Mike W's all alone in a 1-on-3. There's a player on his left, there's a player straight ahead of him, and it will be Giddy to end his life and end that round for Makers. 5-2 now.
Clash Raptors is only tech if you expect them to run a Monty Raptors, which Monty Raptors is good, but he's fucking banned!
Doing their homework.
Clash is literally only good to counter a Monty there.
Clubhouse last time they brought us here against 6 Karma, especially on their very last round, was an attacking round. And now, going
Who's
on to
staff on
Clubhouse
Aerial
yet
Rise?
again on the exact same week in
Let me
your
look.
second game, your second promotion match. They're prepared. They were ready to go to this map. They put all of their focus into this tech, and it's showing. Even if they lose these next 2 rounds,
Do they
they'll
have
be
staff?
going
I think it's just
back onto
Poison.
the defense, and they only need
I think
2
it's just
rounds
Poison
to
doing the
win.
cooking on his
Lakers
own.
Not letting up
Yeah, it's just
whatsoever,
Poison.
Spotting the gap in the overall positions of the defensive players in Aerial Rise, realizing that the entry points being breached, being red and inside of Raptors was a little bit soft. Players still rotating around in the defense, and that's exactly when Makers strike. Realizing that Aerial
Clash
Rise is
defending
going
a
to
bandit
continue
tricking on
to
Master.
play
I
a
have
little
seen
bit
that,
slower
but
after
most people
that
just run
timeout.
Mav these days.
Again, the play style
It's
of
been a
Makers
while since I've seen
not
that.
giving their opponents any time on the defense to react. Every time they make a decision, it's a split-second decision.
Meepy? Back in the
I
day.
seriously have no idea that Kobe Lax was allowed to do that in the last round. The fact that he got away with just jumping in the CC window befuddles me.
Wumbo is the
But
coach?
nonetheless, that's last round.
It's not on
Aerial Rise are
Wikipedia,
definitely gonna be
but
more on their P's and
if you have
Q's
the
about
intel,
that this
maybe.
round, as we're back to Jim and back on that CCTV cache extension that we know and love. Not only that, they've actually extended all the way into Garage, so they really want to hold some of the outer portions of this map for a little bit longer. They need to hold on to it because, like we talk about, if Makers are allowed to get anything for free, they will absolutely take it. Rio's looking to take a fight outside of Garage will instead opt to fall back and play more by Snake, so they have a little bit more
Interesting
coverage
hold
for
on
each
the
other.
cash
They
side.
try to
They're
hold
playing
on
it
to this
really
onside
loose.
position and try to keep Makers at bay.
They're moving around a lot,
So
which I
much
don't hate.
attacking utility
I don't think it's the
used
worst thing in the
early
world
on,
here.
Especially if that Capitao simply
They got the
just
kill, too.
cleared that player, but Snake, he strikes on.
Yeah, I don't think Giddy realized he was down there. Now they're gonna know, though.
That they went to this round, but this time
Are you
around,
gonna
it
spend
was
time clearing a
successful
Solus out of
but again,
basement?
Aerial Rise
That's the
really
question
not
here.
backing off
Because it feels
whatsoever.
really
The
bad.
game
It's going to
plan
take
for
you a
this fight
long
was
ass time to clear
extended
that
over
Solus.
Aerial Rise has
You're
not
already
changed
doing good work on this
whatsoever.
cash
They just
wall.
changed a couple of
I
their
think you're
micro
happy
plays,
just to
couple of
breach
their swings,
cash.
a couple
Do you have
of
an
their
ace?
rotates and
You
timing
don't.
as a
You have
defensive,
can openers, I
finally
guess?
understanding the timing, understanding that they don't have to stay in this position in cash anymore. falling
What's the
back
point of getting
off,
the
giving
bandit
them that
batteries?
control
I guess you
to
just force them
Makers,
out.
saying, you have all of it. You can waste your own time now. We've done all that we needed to do.
Yeah, not only are
They're
they
gonna
wasting
thermite
time,
it.
but they're also
Interesting.
wasting Makers' utility. Makers have no idea that
Okay.
Aerial Rise have completely evacuated the spot. So they're
You're
continuing
forfeiting
to burn out
Jacuzzi
these
then, which is
incendiary
not the end of
bolts
the
from
world.
Capitao, but they're also burning through their hard breach. They've lost next to the thermic. They're actually out of hard breach now, except for a can opener that Packer still has.
But your
Not
push
only
is going to
that,
be
they
pretty
don't have any
one-dimensional.
sort of response.
I
They're
kind of
trying
wish
to
they would take
bunker
bottom
down the
floor
site,
here. Because
not
somebody with
giving anything to
Jacuzzi closed,
Makers.
walking up
They're
main
gonna have
stairs
to
is like
try
really
to
good.
find something
Because
for
it
free,
finally
which
like
doesn't really
provides
seem
that
like
back
enough.
pressure. But you can't walk up main stairs safely if the
great
Solus is up.
thing about taking that
I don't
player
mind
off
if they
of
take some time to
Makers
clear the
is that it
Solus, but now
eliminates
time's
three
getting
lines of
probably
sight
too
so
low
they
for
can
that.
watch, but the problem is
Kobe is in
they're
lounge.
starting to
Kobe
condense
died to the
onto this
Solus.
Aerial
That's
Rise
like,
defense, but it doesn't matter. Because
That's such an important fight, because if Kobe takes that, then he can lurk up main stairs himself. Now you're just really sad. Now you're hoping for Capitao magic. You don't even have any smokes. Oh god.
Packer will start
Oh, you
to
use the
smoke things
smokes
off
long
to
range, I
give them
see.
an opening to go in towards the site, but Snake down below is the perfect operator.
Yeah, you're not
to
getting your
read out
magic
this
here.
push. Mike W will claim Packer's life before he's quickly traded back.
Tough opening
but
death
now
from
it's Blues
Giddy,
all
and
alone.
then
Gets his first kill since the rehost. And now things
tough
don't
fight
look
from
too good for
Kobe.
Maker
Snake just
Team.
kind of
He's
owned
got a
this
lot of
round.
work to do. He does get a second one.
Woos doesn't
on his
clutch
way out
this,
here, and
right?
might reclaim the diffuser, so he might be able to go for the plant here. But with where Aerial Eyes are currently at and where they're currently just sitting back and waiting, it's all for naught as Brios will use the
Nah.
super shorty.
Yeah, Beast Coast
In
won North
loses
American League
life.
Stage 1.
And Aerial Arise finally claim a round back of their own after.
Yeah, Luminosity lost in the quarters to Dark Zero. It was Luminosity versus M80. I don't think M80 took it super seriously, to be honest.
What Aerial Arise did in that
Because it wasn't,
round
it was
on
only
that
for
site,
money.
and especially on that
And
extension
M80 are
of
fucking
by
stacked,
CC
so.
Caps, they played it basically textbook exactly how they played it beforehand. Having a player in Raptors.
Sounds like you
that
sent an
player
application to
specifically
coach
stayed
Aerial
just
Rise.
a little bit longer, able to
Hey,
rotate,
one, do a
even
little
if it was
VOD
a
review.
sloppy rotate
Tell
that was
Poison to get off
that
Clash.
cap
They might
out,
pick you up, though.
But able to waste time on top of that. In
RM80 stacked.
Snake playing
Stacked for
down low in
cash.
basement on the mute, or not the mute, but the vigil rather.
I think
was
using
able
the
to
thermite
step
for
back
cash
up
is actually
in the same
fine.
position he played previously,
You just have to
was
hold
able
bottom
to
floor.
get the kill.
You don't
Then
need
because
jacuzzi
of that,
open when you're
that
pushing gym
allowed
bedroom.
or forced
You'd
him
like to
take
have
a
it for
slow
sure.
wartime.
But if you
Trying
have
to
like
regain that
construction,
trade,
logi,
that
main,
pick that they
and
had
windows,
lost, and the map control that they didn't get
you have a
because
good
they
push
wanted that
setup.
fight. And then you had in Rio inside of Cash getting that wall open.
The Spoit guy
big
is
difference
eating up
that
a lot of your
round,
funds.
aside
You're not
from still
wrong.
getting that opening kill was Aerial Rise realizing that they'd done enough. They'd wasted enough time falling back all three of those players.
True Red Drogue,
and
but I don't
not
think the
giving
thermite
Lakers
helps them go
enough
main.
time to get those trades back. Pretty much an exact round that was similar for Aerial Rise, but they played it. They played the micro decisions differently, and that's why they were able to run away with the round.
This setup just screams Rome from me, from Aerial Arise. Everything they've got here, whether it be the castle, Mike W, back on the Boss G, by the way. We've seen him do this before. I
Oh,
love
you're
watching
saying
Mike
instead
W
of
on the
main,
Boss
go
G.
jacuzzi.
Usually we
Yeah.
see him play pretty aggressive when he's on this operator, but not only that, Snake's back on the Solus for a bit of solo roaming potential. So overall, Aerial Rise just looked to spread out across the map and try and challenge Makers head on. Once again, we saw them do this last round, and at least initially, and it worked out pretty well for them in the end, so hey. why
Mute
not check
Solus
their white
Vigil,
keys if
a
it's
little
not
bit
broken?
different from
And
your Mute
that's
Mozzie
exactly
Vigil.
what they're gonna do.
Probably a little better.
First half of the round is just Makers opening these exterior walls, these hatches, working these positions, but because they've wasted a little bit of time, haven't gotten any map control, this has allowed...
Dude, I need
Mike
Snake to
take
chill the fuck
possession,
out.
But again, it's
I
Snake
actually
with
just
the
need
opening
Snake to
kill.
calm
Eventually,
down
he
with these
does
roams, because he's
retrade
really
onto Brios,
really
but
putting
he
Makers
does
into a bad
condensing
spot here.
themselves a little bit more, putting
I guess
their
Makers
players
got
in
their one
positions
attack
to
that they needed
take
quarter
frags,
3, so it's
making it
or
just
yeah, so
a
it's
little
fine.
bit closer for them in the early round, and that's
But
exactly
Snake's been a
what they need
huge
to do.
problem that
They
Makers
need
just
to put the
cannot
pressure
solve.
in every single
He's a
engagement,
slippery little
and now
bugger.
Mike W still
The nice thing
resides
is they
in
don't
this
need to
A0
kill
position,
Snake on the roam ever
completely
again.
isolated.
They can
If
just
he
win 2
play this
defenses
position
and
right
then go to
here
bed.
with Snake still
And by bed, I
around,
mean
stay